Let's go. The name is Law Nation Sports. We gonna fill this room up. Appreciate you and you. Happy Friday to all. Come on. Mama said there'll be days just like this. And if you're rocking with the nation, let me know. Come on. Let's get it. Woo! Around this time next week, we'll be heading into the weekend of some great football time for your mind. Hey, let's go, yo. They say it with me, ain't no party like a cowboy party. But what about a Law Nation Grove? Come on. Come on. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's go.
Like this mother don't miss. That mother don't miss, man. He's good.
Let's get it, baby. Be sure, and I mean just that, be sure to hit that shared icon. Sharing is caring. Come on. Cowboy party. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey. Ho. Let's go. Yeah. Bring it in, baby. Watch how this beat come in for you, baby. It's Friday, baby. Somebody in their living room doing that right now. They're like, yeah, I'm doing it loud. All right. Enough dancing around like I'm a fool on fire over here. But I want you guys to be fired up, too. We heading into the weekend, and I want you guys to understand that we also heading into a pivotal season for the Cowboys. Finally, we get to see goodness and graces of no excuses. God dog, it's no excuses, man. Good Lord, we happy there's no excuses. Come on, man. No more excuses, man. I can't even say right now they taking them away from me, man. They took it away from me. We don't have a offensive coordinator that's drawing up plays with Crayolas. Come on, let me know.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Woo, we get to see some real football stuff now, man. No more hook routes, option routes, stop routes. No more of that. And I'm not saying, hear me out, I'm not saying that he was the reason why. But dog it, somebody who knows football, who understands football, got to be excited by now, man. Come on, man. Y'all got to be excited by now. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the truth of it all. Sometimes there could be a problem and there could be a situation and you know it, but you sit back and say, hey, we're going to deal through the growing pains. We just going to go through it, man. Hey, man, there was no rhyme or reasons on how we played last year, but we just going to go through it. Man, we Cowboys for life, man. But we knew that, hey, little Johnny down the street, he got the wandering eye. You know what I'm saying? We knew that one leg is longer than the other, and he just like, bless his heart, you know. He just got the heart of a lion. He's out there on the court, but, hey, he just got a little limp on his leg. You know what I'm saying? We all know, you know what I'm saying? But we don't talk about it because it's family, right? And we will fight those who on the outside talk about them. You know, that's what we do as family, right? But, boy, it's like, man, as soon as the party really get kicking off, kind of, I'm going to use this as an example too. Oh, snap. Oh, my goodness. I cannot believe it.
Damn.
What?
Whoa.
Life like this, I wish raindrops would fall. Oh, my goodness. I cannot believe it. Oh, my Facebook community. I was locked up for 25 days on Facebook, but they let me out on parole. I see a Facebook person in the chat because I couldn't go live like 95 on Facebook. So that means that my parole sentence is over with, right? You know, or my 25 days in county jail on Facebook is over with. Appreciate you, Charles, man. Let me see all my Facebook people, man. I love y'all. I couldn't go live with y'all for a few days, but man, it's good to see you, Keith, man. It's been a long journey, man. Edford, you know, have you say your name? Montgomery, you know, appreciate you. Thank y'all, man. Ooh, I got my Facebook crew. I love my YouTube people, but my Facebook, man, y'all be holding me down, man. Jimmy, shout out to you. Joey, shout out to y'all, man. Who else? Andy, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Yes, indeed. And shout out to you, Glenn Capers. No more killing shotgun, only more. Appreciate you. No more second and two. Let's line up empty. Yeah, shout out to y'all. Alice, I see y'all, man. Let me give some people on the Facebook side of things some love before we get into this content, man. I appreciate you, man. Carlton, Des Sanders, you know, I appreciate you. Tremaine and things over there. Come on, baby. Facebook, Jeremy, thank y'all, man. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all so much for your love and adulations for the nation. Come on, baby. They had a brother locked up. Shoot. Dion couldn't lock me down like that. God, dog, boy, y'all had me locked up on Facebook. I think I mentioned something about vitamin water or something. I don't know what I mentioned, but they put the clamps down on me. God, dog, boy. What's up, Jeremy? Appreciate y'all, man. So shout out to my Facebook crew. Y'all know I love y'all, man, and I really appreciate you guys so much. Now back to the topic at hand. We were talking about Dak Prescott heading into Chapter 8, and by this being by far one of the most high optimistic years because we are leveled in good levels in every particular spot on the offense. We can't say, for example, we can't say, well, this is an offensive coordinator that's trying to learn on the job, right? We got Schottenheimer infused with Mike McCarthy. And for those who've been out there at Oxnard, who've been in Frisco watching practice, from the snippets that they allow us to see, we seen Schottenheimer. Who saw Schottenheimer spitting at the players when they do something wrong? It's been 4 years. We haven't seen Kellen Moore raise a finger at a player. So shout out to Schottenheimer because that was new. Shout out to my guy, Boss Cowboy Sports. When we was out there, he pointed that out too. We saw it. Like I was there at Oxnard when I got a chance to see Dan Quinn when he came to the Cowboys and the difference he made on defense. When it was time for to do individual drills, we got a chance to see with our natural eyes Dan Quinn working and moving with the players, right? And I said, man, I don't even care if he's teaching wrong technique. Those boys are gravitating to him. They are listening to him. And granted, he wasn't teaching wrong technique, by the way. But I'm trying to paint a picture so you guys can understand. This was the first year in many of moons that I got a chance to see Schottenheimer teaching, spitting at the wide receivers, letting the offensive lineman guys know, hey, we wanted to see this particular look. Also, barking at the quarterbacks. So I'm sitting here like, okay, cool. And telling people, hey, that dude right there, Peyton Hendershot, he dropped the ball. Dak, go chew him out. I saw that with my natural eyes. He patted Dak, and Dak said, okay, you know. He gave the green light to Dak. Go get him. Go get him. He's supposed to catch that. And that competition, even at a micro level, can span over to a bigger level because what we can see from here is that now we're not just saying, okay, this dude dropped the ball, let's get back to the huddle. No. This dude dropped the ball, chew him out, let him go to the sideline. I've seen this season different from that last season from the offensive perspective. Terrence Steele. I got it on one of my videos. False start. He false start. The coach come over and say, hey, come here. Get over here. Get your butt over here. Get your, you know what I'm saying? And I believe he was on TV. That's why he didn't really say what he really wanted to say. Get your. and he set them out a series. I don't like that at all, ladies and gentlemen. I love that. I absolutely love that. And we needed that, right? Now, we will see how this will move over to the actual game that's going to be here. Well, it's going to be in New York next Sunday night. We'll see how that is going to operate. But those small little details, it's the little things that you have to pay attention to, right? And I love that. Shout out to you, Adam. Appreciate you for jumping in. Appreciate all of y'all for being part of this. Jimmy says, I got the most of the social medias. Appreciate you, Jimmy, man. Thank you. Yeah, it's Friday, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all. And John says, because they didn't respect Kellen Moore. And here's what I'm going to say on this. And we need to get a few more people in here. Y'all be sure to smash the like, share this content. Shout out to you, Madman. Eagles have 3 wide receivers who are good. Yeah, but we got 5 DBs who's better, you know. So here's what I'm going to say with this, though. Kellen Moore, and this is not to take a dump on him, you can't squeeze out something that you don't have. I can't squeeze an apple to expect orange juice. I can't squeeze oranges to expect apple juice. And what happened here is that when you are a young coach who's trying to learn on the job and who's very smart and intellectual, by the way, I'm not saying that he's trash or anything. But what I'm saying collectively is the way the Cowboys operated in the last 4 seasons, the peer-to-peer coaching. He couldn't pour upon more to Dak Prescott because he had nothing to give him. It was an apple trying to give Dak oranges, and that's not going to happen, right? And it made it all lemon for us, right? If we can make anything out of it, with what this analogy is all about. So now it's just like one of you guys that's watching right here is trying to tell me about my house that you never been in before, right? You could say, okay, yeah, Law, you got a nice house, man. It's beautiful. And by you never being in the house before, you can't tell me where the restroom at. You can't tell me where the kids' rooms are upstairs, right? You can't tell me which side of the garage is on. Even if you had the blueprint, you will probably have to refer back to looking down. So what experience is the collective of knowledge, right? And also what experience is also when you get to another level of experiences is wisdom. And that's why I like my guy Collier's name, you know, accumulating knowledge over years of experiences. But what people tend to do, just because you're brilliant in one sector doesn't mean that you're going to be brilliant in all, right? So there's layers to this thing. So when we looked at Kellen Moore's and his offense and his philosophy, he had a brilliant idea. Old folks say, man, there's plenty of people in hell with good intentions, right? Oh, I intended to be good in this situation. But no, you did a bad thing. And that's just an analogy, not saying that people know where people are going in the afterlife, but that's just an analogy that old folks say all the time. So when we start talking about Dak Prescott heading into chapter 8 now, right, he's going into a system that already been proven before. Look, the Lombardi Trophy been lifted before with Mike McCarthy. Schottenheimer, this is not his first rodeo, right? He's been down in the lowdown. He done already crossed the burning sands, right? So those are the things that people have to understand. That's what we got to do. Ain't that right, Jay? So here's what we got here. On all levels stacked, we do have the high levels of scrutiny. And that is good, too, because it brings the attention. And let me play, no, I'm not going to play this audio, but decree and declare right here. They simulated on Madden for Dak Prescott 2023 NFL season in Madden for an MVP run. Madden stats, passing for 5,208 yards. Passing touchdowns would be 43. and the Cowboys will have the number 1 seed, and then I think that they simulated the thing, and then we're going to claim this part of it. We ain't going to claim the other part of it. The other part of it, they said the Cowboys would lose the game 1, whatever they play, to the Packers, I believe, whatever that simulation is. But I can look at halfway through the simulations and say, I don't want 5,000 yards for Dak. I don't want 43 touchdowns for Dak. I want this number to be right around 3,800, and I want us to run, pound town, a little bit more down there in the end zone, red zone, money zone, right? And I think that in green zone, I think that the Cowboys can do that. I think that the Cowboys can utilize the full plate and the full menu and not just be a pass-happy team, but pass when necessary. Now, we do know that the offense with West Coast, hear me out, and I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Trip Aces says, I want Dak Prescott 3,500 yards, 35 tubs. Yeah, max, right? Now, if you get more, then the more will be the merrier, and I would take that. I think what was Dak Prescott numbers? Let me see if I can pull this up. 2021's number. Let me see. Dak Prescott. Shout out to Ezekiel Elliott. We'll see him week 4. Let me go to 2021 stat. All right, so he had 4,449 yards, 37 touchdowns, actually 38 because he ran one in, and 10 INTs. All right, so how are we from a weapon-wise on the offense stacked up against 2021? I would say that this version of CD is better than that version of CD in 2021, right? So you got a better CD Lamb, right? And if Michael Gallup can be healthy, he will be a better version of this Michael Gallup juxtaposed to 2021's Michael Gallup. I think Gallup got hurt too in 2021 as well, right? He got hurt, right? If I'm not mistaken. And then he went through the ACL deals and all of those sorts of things. But, Amari Cooper is Amari Cooper. I'm not saying that Brandon Cooks is better than Amari Cooper, but I can foresee with my eyes that if healthy, that's the operative word, that whatever Amari Cooper did for us in 2021, we can expect, that's the high expectations aspect of it, for Brandon Cooks to do similar, right? But now we just got a better version of CeeDee Lamb. So if we start to look at these numbers right here, and I know every year is a year-to-year league or what have you, Dak Prescott coming off of an injury, by the way, and had limited time in preseason and beyond, and we can expect if the front 5, the offensive line is healthy, then Dak can probably produce better numbers than these right here. Do y'all agree or disagree? Do y'all agree or disagree? And then I'm not even talking about Jalen Tolbert. I'm not even talking about better play calling as well as Kevontae Turpin. I'm not even talking about those things. And if you go back and if you look at that particular year, I think that was like a year like, hey, Dalton Schultz, hey, can we get Jake Ferguson, Peyton Hendershot, as well as Luke Schoonmaker to give us the equivalencies of what those boys did. And let's go back to this right here, and I see it. I love it that I got all of these agrees, baby. I love it, man.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Is this not why you're here,
Spartans! What is your profession?
So here's the other caveat to this. Here's the other one. Hear me out. Do we, dare I say, look at this and say to ourselves about the running approach? Because what was Ezekiel Elliott's number? Let me not guess. Let me just pull it up. Let me pull up his numbers in 2021. What'd you do for me? So he averaged 4.2 yards per tote. He had 10 tubs. He had 1,000 yards in 2021. He had 237 carries that put him 7th in the National Football League. Can Tony give us that? Can Tony Pollard give us that? Can Tony Pollard give us that? Let's dissect this. He had 24 explosive runs. He had 19 missed tackles, 1 fumble, and let me see, did he had any receiving touchdowns? He had 2 receiving touchdowns. So collectively, he had 12 tubs last season. Well, in 2021. 12 tubs. He averaged 12 touchdowns a season. Can Tony give us that? Can Tony give us that? Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of yeps. Yep. But Law, what about the blocking, Law? Tony can't block. Can we worry about that down the line? All right, so we do got Hunter Lukey, right? And from what we heard from the Cowboys org is that they didn't necessarily remove Ronald Jones. Not Ronald Jones, but what's the guy's name? God dog, I forgot it. What's his name? Y'all help me out. What's his name? We didn't remove the guy, what's his name? God dog, I forgot his name. The other running back. Is it Ronald Jones? What's his name? Y'all help me out. We didn't remove him, but we do have Deuce Vaughn. We do have Rico Didal, right? Yeah. Malik Davis on the practice squad. He's swadding up, right? It is Ronald Jones. Okay, making sure. I haven't seen him in a minute, So we didn't, Rojo, we didn't remove him, so he's still here somewhere, Ronald Jones, where are you? Here I am. I'm on PEDs, So he's going to be here, not week 1, not week 2, but he'll be here Cards week, basically. And he didn't even practice because I think he was hurt. Even though he's going through that crisis, he can still practice. So my understanding that I know I made y'all laugh. He got released. Ronald Jones did get released? Okay. I thought he was suspended, and he's still here somewhere in some type of capacity that the Cowboys still own rights to him. But that's a whole nother story. I would say this, though. I truly believe that our run game can be sufficient and efficient. Sufficient and efficient. If you merge those two together, same thing, right? So the Cowboys will be okay in that department. So when we start talking about this offense for Dak Prescott heading into Chapter 8, the front office designed it to be secured on both ends of it. Dak, we gave you weapons. Dak, we got you a coordinator who's been proven in this system. Dak, we got you Mike McCarthy, who would be calling the plays. Dak, hey, we got rid of Ezekiel Elijah Elliott, so we got a more explosive back for you. What else do Dak need right now? Y'all let me know. What else do he need? That's my guy. I've been protecting him. They call me the defender of Dak, right? The apologist of Dak, right? That's what they gave me. They say, Law, you always speak positivity into the man. Right? Well, I'm supposed to speak negative. I'm supposed to speak death upon the man? No. So what else do he need? Come on, I'm going to read the comments. What else do Dak Prescott need at this point? Tony, he said he needs some cojones, right? We will see, because that dude, I'm not going to measure the cojones, you know what I'm saying? But that he needs some milk. All we need is from the late, great Al Davis, just win, baby. Just win. And I want this. I'm going to speak this into Dak Prescott's future. We're going to speak these things. We're going to speak it right into existence. Dak need to be healthy for the 2023 season. I did the round table with my guys. I said in the last 3 years, and I misspoke. He's been hurt for the last 4 years. In 19, he had the shoulder situation, right? And we all know the devastating thing that happened in 2020. And then 2021, he had the shoulder plus the calf coming off of the ankle situation. And then last season, he had the broken thumb. And what Jerry Jones did was said to everyone, shout out to you, Jackie Price, that's on the Facebook side of things. Shout out to you, Juan Campos. Appreciate you. What Jerry Jones did was said, hey, I'm a businessman. You know what I'm saying? And I got to secure the future. We got a year left on Cooper Rush deal. We signed him to a 2-year deal thing, right? And Cooper Rush, for what it's worth, when his number and name was called, he at least drive the boat, right? Or sail the boat or drive the bus is a better way to say it, right? And did what was necessary to stay afloat. I know for sure that we can't hinge everything on that because that's not sustainable enough for those who are out there foolish enough to say that, yeah, man, we can win like that for the remainder of the year. No, he was averaging 17 points. I think even the defense was averaging at least a touchdown with a pick six, a scoop and score, etc., right? But the defense held teams under 20 points, and that wasn't sustainable enough. They did their analysis. They did all of their reports, and they said, you know what? But we know for sure we got a guy that can just drive the bus, right? When they all focus in on play calling and getting things done for us in the right way, right? But that's not sustainable enough, right? So what they did was they picked up the phone, or it could have been that the Niners called the Cowboys, right? And whatever way it went down, they said, hey, we got a former first-round draft pick who was 3rd overall. Hey, we trying to shop him around. We want a second from him. The Cowboys said, nah, we can't give you a second. He don't have a long enough resume. Well, what about 3rd? Nah, man, you must be out your doggone mind. Well, we got other people who trying to jump in on this. Who y'all got? Oh, the Bills, the Minnesota Vikings, the Baltimore Ravens. All right, we'll settle for a 4th. Deal. All right, that's how that deal probably happened, right? And Jerry Jones struck the deal for that. And for those who are out there looking back at this from the outside looking in, will say, oh, man, that's terrible. Man, that dude's a bust. Bull sugar. He only had about 280 snaps at quarterback.
Riverable 95, $10. NFC East Roundtable was great. Thank you for giving us great content consistently. Law, tumbler glass, fire, clapping. Let's go get trophy. Cowboys.
Yes, indeed, Ray. Appreciate you that. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, that's a business move, right? So that's securing your future because there's high upside. That's life insurance, right? So this Dak Prescott chapter 8, he's looking at it like, dude, if I break another thumb, a pinky, I got a quarterback who's 4-1 as a starter, right? That's behind me, and I got a guy with high upside, right? That's going to be thrown to this Brandon Cooks, that can be thrown to Kevontae Turpin, who can take the top off the defense. I got backs with wiggles, Tony Pollard. And when you get tired of Tony Pollard, you got Baby Pollard and Deuce Vaughn, right? Both of those boys run similar, right? And then you also have the rising of a star by C. Dangerous Lamb. Ooh, he's good. That boy's good. That boy good. So we looking at this year to be special. I said all of this and appreciate everybody that's watching. Lean in a little bit. Let me tell y'all something. We haven't even started talking about defense. We haven't even mentioned defense. I said all of this stuff, and we ain't talking about. We haven't even started talking about defense. Oh, you hyping up the boys. There you go, man. Shoot. How much Jerry is paying you? Shoot, if he's paying me, it's not enough. So for the people say, hey, man, how much Jerry is paying you? Not enough? Shoot, I'm supposed to be at the suites talking about this as much as I pump it up the Cowboys. He ain't paying me enough. Let's go. So we got all of this.
Let's go, man! Let's go!
What else do you want from me, Cowboy Nation? So let's talk about the over-analyzations because a lot of people say that Dak Prescott is overrated, right? Show of hands if you believe that Dak Prescott is overrated. Just put OVR 4, you know, if you think he's overrated. And I want to know who those people are. You know, if you can, you know, you can put that, just lay it nicely so I can identify who you are. And I'm not going to beat you up. I'm not going to beat you up. You know, I feel you, you know. OV4. I see you. Brandon Rawls, I see you, fam. You know, GFC. Okay. All right. Jackie Price, I can't say underrated. I'm not going to say underrated. I'm not going to say Dak Prescott is underrated. I do agree with people with the over, right? But not with the rated. I believe that Dak Prescott is over-talked. He's over-analyzed. There are too many people breaking down Dak Prescott, even when we say things that are positive, even with facts. Then that's when people don't want to hear it, right? Because even if we break down the philosophy of what we had to endure the first 4 years, right? It's crazy. Walker Wade 44 says, I like when people say Lance is going to be something when he hasn't even busted a grape in the NFL. This league is a whole other animal than college. That's what I agree with, Walker Wade. I do agree. But I'm not going to paint a kid with that same brush when we don't know. It's the area of the unknown. He is still.
Well, what I'm saying is that there are known knowns and that there are known unknowns, but there's also unknown unknowns.
Yeah.
Things we don't know that we don't know.
And that's just what it is. When we look at this Walker Wade, 263 snaps, that's not enough. That's not enough to even know whether or not he's good or great, right? But we can identify that most teams had some had a first-round grade on them, second-round grade on them, right? And when we start to contextualize this, before last year, Trevor Lawrence was heading right into that bust area, right? Busted wide open, you know what I'm saying, area. Zach Wilson, some can, and most will say that even Zach Wilson is already a bust, and he had ample enough chances and opportunities, right? And we can look at Justin Fields right below him, picked with the 11th overall. I mean, he's in that area that, yeah, he had a coming out party last year, but that's still not enough, right? But he did have an ample enough time for snaps, juxtaposed to Trey Lance. And Mac Jones, he's fighting for his life, you know? So I'm going to pump the brakes on that. And I would say this, Walker Wade, that this dude, Trey Lance, fell right into the great possible situation ever. ever. Because he can sit back, eat oodles and noodles, and chill and pick up the pieces of the playbook and understand how to walk in the Cowboys' lane. Press says, Law, there's nothing else you can give Dak. Dak is what he is, just a good QB. Now, granted, those who say good to above average, hey, there are multiple teams that won a Super Bowl with good to above average quarterbacks. People think that only way you can win a Super Bowl if you got to be elite, right? That's not the case nor the scenario. Jay, my guy, Jay Recruiter, Dak is underrated. I will put him up against any QB in the league, and he will have multiple rings if he was with the Chiefs.
He ain't lying.
Hey, man. Hey, it's all depending on what system you fell into. Because, yeah, if we extrapolate the numbers that he put up with Jason Garrett, right? And you pick up, if I had a rifle to most people had, and you had the option to win it all, I'm talking about win it all for the entire years in the NFL, and you had the option, Jason Garrett with Pat Mahomes or Andy Reid with Dak Prescott, which of those options would you pick? Do you really think that Jason Garrett would have been able to win Super Bowls with Pat Mahomes, just Pat Mahomes, juxtaposed to Andy Reid with Dak Prescott? It would be the inverse. I believe that's actually happening in one of these multiverse, that Dak Prescott went to the Chiefs and my guy Pat Mahomes came here, right? And we've been going back and forth like, hey, man, that dude, Dak Prescott, that dude good, man. You know, I wish we had a Dak, man, but we got a Pat Mahomes who can't read defense, right? That's what Pat Mahomes said. Those are his words. He said he couldn't read defense coming out of college. He couldn't read. That's what I'm saying. That's just what I'm saying. I've literally said before that there was a Super Bowl in there, even with my guy Tony Romo. If you pick up Jason Garrett and put him on the Saints, and if you had Sean Payton here, right, on the Cowboys, even though Sean Payton went 79, I think that we would have had a stronger chance with Sean Payton to win the Super Bowl with Tony Romo, juxtaposed to Jason Garrett in New Orleans with Drew Brees. I made that argument before, right? And there's somewhere in the alternate universe that actually happened. You know, let me get into my Doctor Strange and check out all of the multiverses. I promise you, Tony Romo in a different multiverse got a ring because he went to the Saints with Sean Payton. I'm for real. Y'all I got to type into my third eye, and I'll take y'all there, man, one day. You know what I'm saying? I promise y'all. I'm for real, man. I'm for real. The difference even between those eras was the fact that we went through all of those growing pains with Jason Garrett, right? And we still had the exact same expectations. I'm going to say this with the expectations that even when we had Dave Campo, for crying out loud, there were people still saying, hey, we got a chance. We got a chance, baby, to win the Super Bowl, right or wrong. It's been, hey, for 27 years, we've been saying we're going to win the Super Bowl. Come on, baby. Romo from Earth 2 got all type of rings. He's still with Jessica Simpson. You know, Earth 2 Romo is still with Jessica Simpson. Right hand to the man. He'd been ditched Britney Spears and all of those. Yes, indeed. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. You know.
He ain't lying.
Y'all forgot Romo was a little player, man. Shout out to Romo and all of his players' ways. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. All right. So, speaking of that, let's talk about this right here. Y'all know when y'all hear this music, we're finna get into some deep stuff. You know how it goes. Shout out to you, Sheila. Let's get into this, man. Let's jump in on this. Shout out to the Paper Route. They do a great job. Shout out to Ashley Moss and as well as my guy Brandon. Let's listen to those.
Is Dak Prescott criticized quarterback in the NFL?
Hold on. She said quarterback like me. Quarterback. Yeah, she said quarterback just like me. Let's listen again.
Is Dak Prescott the most overly criticized quarterback in the NFL? Listen, everybody hates Dak Prescott apparently, but should they? The Dallas Cowboys currently are averaging 29.9 points per game with Dak Prescott since 2019. Now, this is the highest PPG among all teams and quarterbacks during that span. And we still have national media members and fans like the people in the chat believing that Dak Prescott is not good. Brandon, you once upon a time had a conversation on this very show comparing Dak Prescott to other elite quarterbacks in the.
She keeps saying it like me. I'm going to have to call her up. Quarterbacks. Yes, indeed. So is Dak Prescott not good? You know what I'm saying? I want to know. I need to know. TA says, wrong lady. You know what I'm saying? Calais, Cowboy, appreciate you. Thank you. O-line is our Achilles heel. Sam Williams need to make better choices, right? Give him multiple options, man. Pick the best choice. You know, running back room is relying on unproven talent. Linebacker depths could be better. Beyond that, we straight. Repping DC for life. In 49ers land, baby. Yeah. But here's how this beautiful thing goes. I believe, was it 19 of 98? Was that a proven quarterback for those Broncos? He was a proven quarterback, but was that a proven running back? No, it wasn't a proven running back. Did he win it in 97 and 98, right? Both wasn't a proven running back. Right? And I'm not saying that we got a Terrell Davis here, but sometimes the element of the unknown. Who was the proven running back last year's Super Bowl? Who was the proven running back the year before? Who was the proven running back the year before that? Who was the proven running back in the last 10 years?
NFL, and made a case that the hate is not warranted based on the numbers. So,
That's
go
right.
ahead.
So at the end of the day, what are we trying to accomplish, right? We're trying to win games. That's number one.
Right.
We're trying to be productive and do our job. And so, you know, the best way for us to look at who is actually being productive, who's winning games,
Right.
is looking at the numbers, right? And so, yes, Ashley, probably a couple months ago, I just said, let me look at, you know, Dak's numbers compared to Ben Roethlisberger's, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. And what you saw through the first 8 years is his numbers right up there with the greats. And then also, I was watching Kimberly Martin this morning. And
All right, so he got those boys up here now in 7 seasons. Now he's going into his chapter 8 now. Some people will remove 1 year out of his chapter because he didn't really complete the chapter in the 2020 season. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. We're going to count it all up. This is this brother 8th season. You know, we ain't going to sugarcoat this. So you will probably have to zoom in to see that, you know. What I can do here so we all can see it, so we all be on the same page. So give me a few seconds. Let me see if I can do some adjustments right here to get that beautiful overlay. Y'all bear with me, man. Y'all bear with me build this plane because I didn't know it was going to be that tiny. I know we got some tiny eyes over here trying to squeeze and see that beautiful overlay right there. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to try to screen grab this. Y'all bear with me. Here we go. Here we go. We're going to get it. We're building the plane while it's in the air. Come on. That little bar right there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to scream. My face going to freeze for a second. Don't worry. I'm still alive. I'm still alive.
And she was like,
Ventriloquist law. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get this. We're going to get this thing going. All right. So it's not allowing me to do it. That's what it is. Okay. Give me one more second. Give me one more second. Terrible, terrible, terrible. And save. Okay. Bam. It didn't allow me to screen grab it, but y'all get it. Go to this site right here, zoom in on it, and you guys will be able to see what I'm looking at, okay? Appreciate y'all.
yeah, we talk so bad about Dak Prescott, but if you look over the last 10 years, who's been, you know, the most efficient at the quarterback position, he's like 5th behind Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Patrick Mahomes, and like 1 or 2 others, but all like retired legends, future Hall of Famers, or the best in the game right now. So look at Dak's. Look at it. What do you want? What else do you want?
What else y'all
Like,
want
what do you
from me?
What
They
what
want
would
his
you rather
blood and his
have?
unborn child.
But I will say this though, Ashley, right? Because people like the Cowboys, and it's like people talk about, well, when you talk about the Cowboys, you get more views, right? So like maybe that's it. When because he's the quarterback of the Cowboys, it just comes with that. You know, it's like this particular quarterback position, you know, because nobody else is getting talked about like this. But it's insane. I would love to have a quarterback like Dak Prescott. I had 18 quarterbacks. Like I had Tyler Thigpen. You know, I had Kyle Orton. I had so many guys. I had guys with 2-3 ribs, like broken, like trying to throw me the ball. Look at the completions through the first 7 seasons, excuse me. And then look at Drew Brees.
Well,
Look at Ben Roethlisberger. Look at Tom Brady. Then go to yards. Look at this. Hold on 1 second. Let's really sit here a little bit, Ashley, please. Look at touchdowns. He got more touchdowns through the first 7 years than freaking Drew Brees. And Ben Roethlisberger. And he's behind Tom Brady. Tom Brady to GOAT. We'll discuss that later. But come on, man, give it a break. I can talk about this forever, Ashley, but come on.
I'm going to play devil's.
All right, before she plays devil's advocate, who in the chat caught more touchdowns than Brandon Marshall? If you that wide receiver, let me know in the chat. who in the chat understands, and I'm not saying that there'll be a straw man's argument to say that, hey, Brandon Marshall knows more because he actually played in the National Football League, but there is a level of validity of validation with him, right? And I'm always big on validation is only good for parking. But he is spitting the truth at us right now. And regardless of whether or not you like what he's saying or not, the reality is that he played with terrible quarterbacks. He played with horrible situations. And what he's saying is that, man, this dude is not that bad. Come on. Shay Sharp has more. And I do agree. So that's why I said, who in the chat? And we all know if you get a chance to pull Shay Sharp off of Undisputed and you meet him inside the mall or somewhere and you ask him, Shay, man, what's your real thoughts on him? You know what I'm saying? Shay, what's going on with him? What's going on with Dak Prescott? What do you really feel about Dak Prescott without the show?
All I ask is when you lay your head on that pillow at night, I gave you everything I had. I gave you everything I had.
And that's what he's going to say, because it was Shay Sharp in 2020 that was banging on the table saying that, hey, he want Dak Prescott to get paid. Dak Prescott deserve his money, his coins, his bag. He started to flip it and say that, hey, even though he said about the empty calorie stats and all of this, he was speaking glowingly of the brother, right? He was saying that the Cowboys made an idiotic move of not paying Dak Prescott before walking to me, start getting paid and all of that. He was saying that the Cowboys were doing an evil thing of not paying Dak Prescott before Goff and all of those boys. So I get it. It's entertainment. But you talk to these rascals off of that Fox and that 4-ladder to 3-ladder networks, they would tell you the truth. I remember the time, this is from my guy Echo, says Kyle Orton really thought he could take Romo's job. And I remember the time, too, that there was a lot of fickle fans that were saying, put Kyle Orton in. He looked like Keanu Reeves. Let him be the quarterback. Tony Romo throws too many Tony turnovers. You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember that? People and kids dressing like Tony Romo for Halloween. My guy Zach Luna says Skip Bayless can eat a big fat you-know-what. Got to keep Law Nation monetized. Hey, appreciate you, Zach. Thank you. Let's go, man. Come on, baby.
All I ask.
Let's go.
Advocate here because I'm on your side.
Are you a Cowboy?
No.
Or not?
It is my job as a journalist to play devil's advocate here. Okay? But I am on your side. Nobody in this world rides harder for Dak Prescott than your girl. That is my QB. That's my QB1.
And then the interceptions, Ashley. Oh, he throws the ball low. He turns the ball over so much. Please take out the lower third really quick, BC, please. And then I'm sorry for cutting you off, Ashley. But that's the biggest one. I ain't even hit that. Tom Brady threw more interceptions than Dak Prescott through the first 7 years. And Drew Brees, come on, give me a break.
Listen, I'm not trying to debate you. I'm just gonna play devil's advocate. You already know I ride for my QB1. What T.O. say? That's my quarterback. That's my quarterback. That's me when we talk about Dak Prescott. But a pushback will be, when you look at the numbers of these guys, absolutely right. Dak Prescott statistically is aligned with all of these guys, right? I'm agreeing with you there. The pushback has always been, what did Drew Brees, Big Ben, and Tom Brady do in their first 7 seasons?
They won a Super Bowl. All right, then let's talk about that then.
Let's talk about that then.
But okay, that's great. All right. So what's the alternative? Mr. and Mrs. General Managers out there, everybody who think they know everything, what's the alternative? You want to go in the draft and go get Johnny Manziel? You want to go in the draft and go get Baker Mayfield? You want to go in the draft and go get come on, we go on and on, all these busts. What is the alternative?
Right. So basically, he's saying that what would be the options to move on from Dak? Like, what can you do to get beyond this? He's in chapter 8, and according to my research, chapter 9, he's still gonna be here. Chapter 9, he's still gonna be here unless you are willing to eat $60 million we're going to round up. And I don't think that this team is going to be willing to eat $60 million. And here's the reason why. I don't foresee Dak Prescott falling off the map this year. I'm with the belief that hear me out. I'm with the belief around and near by the break. It's like I'm talking about the break of the season. Before the break, I think that the Cowboys should do this number. Breaking news, the Cowboys extended Dak Prescott to blah, blah, blah to alleviate some of that $60 million cap hit. And this will be a contract that's north of X, Y, and Z. Because what's going to happen here, if you move into this after this season, I truly believe that he's going to produce some great numbers that's in this realm of possibilities of this right here. And I'm not saying he's going to have 5,208 yards, but we literally seen Dak Prescott put up some great numbers with less talent. So you mean to tell me he's finna have more talent and do less? Regular season Dak is regular season Dak. I know it's all about playoffs. Playoffs is everything. But who is going to move on from a quarterback that's going to get you all the way to the playoffs and beyond? And I'm quite foreseeable seeing that he's going to do that. So the Cowboys, once again, you betted against Dak Prescott in 2020. And it didn't go the way you wanted to, especially about the language of the contract. See, I'm quite sure if you would have approached Dak Prescott in 2018 before he played 19 and said, okay, this is what we got for you, then those conditions on the contract wouldn't have been permeated. It wouldn't have been, hey, we're going to put the no trade clause on there and we're going to put the anti-franchise tag within the language of the contract. No, that wouldn't have been there because big trust would have been there. The trust factor would have been there. And when you have trust, y'all know how that goes, right? Meaning that there will be some concessions made within the language of the contract. Y'all know how that goes. Everybody who worked contracts know how that goes. So when you put the no trade clause in the contract, there's no levels of trust in there, right? No levels of trust in there. Horrible both ways. The highest trade ability that you had with Dak Prescott was at the end of 2019. Before his contract was end of life, I believe at 18. That was the highest possibility. Dak Prescott in the 2018 coming off of a playoff win, right? Of course, we lost to the LA Rams, but that was his highest peak if you wanted to move on from Dak Prescott. Then, what did the Eagles get for Carson Wentz? What did the Eagles get for Carson Wentz? Can somebody let me know? Whatever the Eagles got for Carson Wentz, trading him off to the Colts, it would have been quadruple that. It would have been doubling of that almost. Jay Recruiter, the Madden simulation for the nation is very realistic. I really think the Cowboys need to get the number 1 seed to make it all the way. Look at what the Eagles did last year. Yeah. JT says they got a third for Carson Wentz, and he was on the slump area. So I'm quite sure that I believe that the Colts were willing to pay Rain Dakota Prescott. I believe when they first heard of the news, I believe that they were willing to give the man $35 million, if my memory serves me correct. And they put the exclusive franchise tag on him, and that means that no team could really touch him or what have you, and only the Cowboys can work with him. So they didn't put the non-exclusive franchise tag on him. If they would have tendered Dak Prescott with a first, maybe a conditional second, I'm quite sure a team would have did that. And it could have been the Colts. Believe it or not. Appreciate you.
He put you in position to win. That's all you want. Ashley, I'm glad she's playing devil's advocate. But Ashley, didn't you say, and I ain't even gonna give you this type of energy, right now because you're just trying to make sure our viewers
No, give it to me. What did I say?
No, because I was going to come at you like we were really debating. We're not. You're just trying to have a balanced conversation because this is
Wait a minute. WDM, the Eagles got a first and a third? Ooh, jeez. They got a first and a third for Carson Wentz. Ooh. Did they? God, dog. That means that would have been 2 firsts and a conditional third. Ooh. Man, shoot, I know we don't like to give praises to those boys, Howie and them, but shoot, Howie, I see my guy with my guy Lord Brunson said hurt season. Shoot, Bull Sugar, Howie season. That hat would have sold millions, man. My guy Lord Brunson would have been a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? Selling hats. He would have been up there with Danucci selling hats. Howie season. That's what you need. Make a hat that say Howie season, not hurt season. God, dog. If that's correct, you know what I'm saying? If he got a first and a second or a first and a third, God, dog. God, what am I doing there? Where you at? Come on.
God, important part
Yeah,
of the
tell me what I
conversation.
said. I can go ahead and what did I say?
Did he keep?
You know, hold on. I got to play another drop. You just to say that.
Thief! Stop! Thief! Come back, thief!
That's a ski man's job for real. You know what I'm saying? God, dog. You mean to tell me he got a first and a third for Carson Wentz and he's not even in the National Football League right now? He's hunting bears, literally. He's working at Publix. I think I bumped into him one day and he was my Uber driver. You know what I'm saying? God, dog. Come on, man. He got that much for him?
Thief! Stop! Thief! Come back, thief!
Come on.
Jared, what's his name? The coach?
Oh, absolutely.
Did he keep Jason Garrett?
Here's Jason
10 years longer than he's.
My pushback has always been, and we have had this conversation multiple times, and we had this conversation. I remember when we were still only on radio, with all the guys. We had this conversation. I understand that the quarterback gets the glory and the quarterback gets the criticism, but when you actually dive into it, and I know it's fun to blame the quarterback and say he sucks, he's a bust, he's not a winner. It's fun, it's clickbait, I get it. But if you're gonna go ahead and actually have an intelligent, well-rounded conversation about statistics as a player and lack of wins as a player, you also have to look at the whole picture. For a portion of Dak Prescott's career, I'm not taking blame away from him, because there has been times that he has not performed to the way he should have when it counts the most. And that is what? In the postseason, in the playoffs, right? The numbers don't lie. The record does not lie. We can't also ignore the fact that football, much like basketball, is a team sport. A lot has to go right for things to happen. You have to make sure your offense is going right. You have to make sure your wide receivers are catching passes. You have to make sure your defense is doing your job. You have to make sure you have the right head coach in play. You have to make sure your defensive coordinator is making the right calls. Your offensive coordinator is making the right calls. So I get it. It's fun. It's sexy. It's polarizing to only blame Dak Prescott. But if we're going to have a conversation about Super Bowls and wins and losses and compare him against Drew Brees and Big Ben and Tom Brady, we have to look at the whole picture, and those guys that I just named did not win Super Bowls by themselves.
Oh my gosh, my guy WDL, man, appreciate you, fam. He says, update, in short, the Eagles received 2022's first round pick, number 16th overall, and 2021's third round pick, number 84th overall for the Colts for the Wentz deal. So that was a doggone good that was a good move by the Eagles, and I hate to give them credit, but that's just how it goes. Now, granted, to me personally, I would say Prescott is more valuable than a Carson Wentz, by the way. So if they were able to do that, then we understand. Now, the situation when you're talking about big trust, the Cowboys lost all of that. They lost all of that when you put a player on a franchise tag. And on top of that, you lose a little grounding because the money is not prorated. The money hits against the cap, meaning that you can't add more and more opportunities with weapons. Now, I do love the way that she did go back in, Ashley, and add it in the fact that you got to have coaching, you got to have the players and beyond. So if you are top heavy on paying the player, right, and I mean the quarterback, dare I say, then you don't have that wiggle room to add one extra player. I love the way the Chiefs did this last year. They looked at it and saw Kadarius Toney, a former first-round draft pick, right? He was drafted in the first round, right? They saw talent in that brother. They knew that, hey, if he's out there on the streets, even if the Giants wanted a second, third, or whatever they wanted, it would be worth it because he can make a play. He can be a difference maker. And we're not going to shelve him, and we're not going to put him on the shelf to spoil. They utilized Kadarius Toney. I'm with the belief that if the Chiefs don't make that necessary acquisition last year, they don't win the Super Bowl. That was a big pivotal play for what he was able to do. Right? So as a owner, as a general manager, and as a budget analyst, whoever that is over there for the Cowboys, you got to make those type of moves. You do. And on top of that, you got to have the correct and right play callers too. A person that can be looking at a situation to be in an advantage of, not a disadvantage. Law, do you have any truth to that? For 2 seasons in a row, we played the 49ers. And when we lost to the 49ers, that very much so, the same guy that called plays for us interviewed for the same job that those guys interviewed for, and he lost in that time. He did. McDaniels went to the Dolphins. They didn't win no Super Bowl, but when his name was called and they brought in Kellen Moore for that interview and they brought in McDaniels, they said, you know, we're going to go, whatever his name is for the doggone 49ers, we're going to go with him, you know. And on top of that, you got to separate yourself. We had the most explosive players in 2021 on our team. Tony Pollard, he only touched the ball 4 times in the Cowboys game versus the 49ers. They only established 1 series with Amari Cooper in that game, and he scored a touchdown. That's malpractice in coaching, baby. Zach Luna says defense wins Super Bowls is only partially true. I feel you, fam. Yeah, you can have the greatest defense in the world, but you still got to move the ball. I do agree. Yeah. Let's go. Toot Robinson says, Law, you remember when Chris Jones took a turn with the whole offensive line? Chiefs better get Jones back, though. Yeah. I think they're going through some type of contract dispute, too. Yeah. I think he's going to get that deal done, though. But if not, the Chiefs, they're not going to waddle in the mud with it for long. They didn't even do it with Tyreek Hill. All right, Tyreek, where you want to go? We draw up the paperwork. We get the ink ready and lay it down on that contract. Jay Versick says, when we lost to the 49ers, we also didn't have Steele, who neutralized Joey. When we played the Chargers, I want him versus Nicky Bosa. Yeah. Steele was a pivotal part for us last year. And when he got hurt, that did throw some monkey wrenches into the mix. Yeah, he did. Appreciate y'all. Come on, let's go.
So yes, Ashley, I need to jump in the chat more. Oh my goodness, King Cook.
Here we go.
Oh, so now Dak ain't never had great players around him. B. Marsh? Question mark? Is that how you think it sounds? That's how the King Cook.
Okay.
King Cook.
Come on, man. Call that man King Cook. Come on, dog.
Brandon Marshall asking Nicole Moss.
Hold on, man. Come on, man. You know, you got.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
A little sus action there. You got to man that up a little bit. How you going to call that man King Cock? Come on, man. You know, let me play it one more time.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
That doggone Boosie, man. Don't cut the man off. Yeah, that Boosie crazy as all get out, man. Shout out to Boosie, man. Lock him up and then so we can say free Boosie again and free him out, you know.
XM. Back to talk.
Pause. Yeah.
Yo, y'all know I can't read.
yeah. I can't read.
I know I can't read. They used to ask me, bro, what's your major? I'm walking around campus, bro, what's your major? I'm majoring in football.
Like Bobby Boucher.
Yeah.
Mama said football's the devil.
Let me stop playing into the stipend, but my coach definitely, my high school coach, right before I was about to take off, we were on the track and we running.
Right.
We training, right? Getting ready to go to UCF. And shout out to UCF tonight. We got a big game tonight. Yeah, UCF. Golden Knights, run onto the field with your spirit whenever you. But anyways, right before I'm about to go to UCF.
Shame on whoever said Fred is an average linebacker. Ooh, shame on them, boy.
Darnell Harrison look at me, Showtime. And he's like, bro, what you gonna major in when you get to school? I'm like, I'm thinking, no, computer engineering.
Oh, cool.
I was like, computer engineering. And he looked at me like this. He said, let me tell you a story. He said, I was in the same situation before I was about to take off the school. And my mentor looked at me and asked me the same question. And I said, business. And he looked at me and said, boy, your major football. So, anyways, it's just a cool little story.
Resetting.
Reset.
There you go.
King Cook. But I'm going to say this, too. Computer engineering, look. He won't be able to, if he can't read, he won't be able to get over Cabal and SQL. He won't be able to do none of that. He won't even get to Hello World, programming stuff. You're going to have to read, and you're going to have a good recall. And on top of that, you can have a semicolon off. You're going to mess up a whole bunch of stuff. Come on, man. Crystal reporting and all of that stuff. Shout out to all of the computer programmers and also the computer engineers out there. Hey, and if you're looking for a major, right? And if you know and understand that this is a world of AI, this is just my business talking to y'all right now, jump into computer programming. You know what I'm saying? If you're looking for 6 figures and beyond, if you're chasing the money a little bit, nothing wrong with it. Computer programming is a real good field to be studying in, Come on.
King Cook. Pause. He said,
Pause.
so now Dak ain't never had great players around him. B Marsh, question mark.
I'm gonna see how he answered this.
Okay, so basically that's saying, that generation saying I'm capping. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so the year Dak snapped his ankle.
Okay. Break it down, B.
They were averaging 500 yards a game.
Okay.
Dak Prescott was phenomenal. What happened on the other side? And this has been the problem up until literally the last 2 years of Dak's run.
Kelly, before I go, he says, Kelly Lawson says, I'm a tax accountant. There's also many jobs in taxations. Yes, it is. It is a very good deal in taxations. You got to read in taxations, too. You got to read in that because they change the policies and the laws every year, and you got to make sure that you represent the right way. Shoot, the book of tax laws is just humongous. There's a lot of money in taxes, especially if you live in Texas.
The defense wasn't better than UCF's defense. Trash.
That's true.
Trash. Like they were giving up 800 yards a game. And
True.
That's cap. I ain't do my research on that part of the argument. But that's been the problem in Dallas, man. I used to lick my chops going down there to play or them coming to me. Why? Because I knew I was going to have 100-something yards in them and maybe 2 touchdowns. Too easy. That defense, remember I was saying earlier how these owners, that stick around for a long time, they have their philosophy. They've been trying to play this defense the same way, and you getting one-on-one coverage. You want all the smoke. So, yes, Dak has had players around him. So, defensively, they had stars, okay? Offensively, they had some players. They had some dogs. Right. But, man, if your defense play the way they play, you don't got no chance. I am sorry. So, yes, Dak has had players around him, but they finally got it right, and that's where the pressure is on Dak right now.
All right, so let me help the man out. We got our defense in 2021 and 2022. I get it. A lot of people gonna say, "Hey man, nah, man, we had good solid defenses in 2016, 17, 18." Bullsugar, man. Our defense was one of those placebo type of defenses, whereas we had star players and we were playing a dated Tampa 2 defense that was brought up way back in the early 2000s under Papa Rob Marinelli. And we started to see some changes when we brought in Chris Richard, right? But the philosophy was, and I always looked at it kind of crazy, like, because how you going to give the man the job without the title? Like, come on, and have different philosophies infused together, right? Because we all know Chris Richard ran a cover 3 scheme, more so like the aspect of what the Seattle Sea Chickens did or Seahawks did. And you try to merge that in with Rob Marinelli's Tampa 2, and Rob Marinelli, he knew how to get the best out of guys like George Selvey and the other guy that he called a golden cock. You know, I forgot that man's name, but Nick Hayden, I believe, that's his nickname that he gave them, Russian lizards and stuff like that. But we didn't have a core philosophy. Know how we talked about no identification on offense? We technically had no real true identification on defense, outside of the fact that we had named guys. So I will give you this. 2021, that was us emerging to a better livelihood of defense. But we still had some of the old ways. Because think about this. Hear me out. And a lot of people going to fall asleep behind the wheel when we say this. Yeah, Jeremy says, bend but don't break. Appreciate you. And we broke many a times when they figure out they can't stop the run. Personnel. They didn't have the personnel. We didn't believe in safety, and then we didn't believe in defensive tackle. The core. You look at a tree, you're going to know the tree by the roots. By the roots. The root got to be deep down. And the trunk of the tree is the core, not the branches. We didn't have the trunk of the tree of the defense rooted in. So when they uprooted us, they ran all over us. C.J. Anderson ran all over us like dog diarrhea, right? Teams literally said, okay, when we going to establish the run, get this safety to dive deep down inside, and now it's one-on-one to the outside. That's what Brandon Marshall is talking about. We had inadequate safety play and inadequate defensive interior play. All right, so back to 2021, people fail to realize the previous year, we was the historically bad defense. When I say historically, that means that you have to date beyond 1960 of how bad this defense was. Newsflash, the NFL Cowboys was birthed in 1960. Meaning that from that time all the way until then, we didn't play that sloppy of defense. Let that sink into your mental mindset. Jeremy said also no dogs, right? Sure. We literally had a parade when we got Dontario Poe in 2020. He was 395 pounds at the time. Hands on your knees, after one play, after one series. Come on, y'all. Let's go. But now, 2022, oh, we saw some good stuff with this defense. But we just couldn't get it right. Offense kind of sussed a little bit. Especially with the play calling.
Because this defense is not, ooh, I like this defense. Ooh. That's why I got them coming out the NFC, Ashley.
Defense is nice.
I like this defense. Dan Quinn, hey, Jerry Jones, you know, enjoy it while it lasts, because Dan Quinn probably out of there after this year.
He probably is.
Chill. That's our future head coach.
And then on the offense, you brought in
come on, Ashley.
The Archer. You brought in Archer.
Brandon.
And then you got CeeDee Lamb. Mm-hmm. And then what's the other receiver y'all got?
Gallup.
Michael Gallup.
Ooh, Michael Gallup. Mm-hmm. And then you got the rookie of the year, future rookie of the year, Deuce Vaughn.
Oh, he said
it. Got who at the running back position?
Tony Pollard.
Tony Pate.
All right. I'm done. I digress.
Well, football season's a week and some days away. Next week, you will see me front and center. And you know what? I might just wear multiple Cowboy jerseys in the week just to piss y'all off.
Yes, indeed. Yes, say it wide open, girl. Piss them off. Wear all of the silver and blue if you can. All right, man, this was a great episode. Now what I want to do is hear y'all. I want to hear from y'all. It is 2:44. Y'all good? Come on, baby. Y'all know how this thing goes. Yes, indeed, baby. Y'all make it quick, too. It's Friday. Some people getting paid today on Friday. It's payday Friday, too, for some. 657-390-7391 is the hotline for your mind. Come on. Shout out to those who getting paid. Let me get like at least by 5% of your paycheck or something. You know what I'm saying? Hook a brother up.
There is one other participant in the conference.
Yes, indeed, baby.
All participants are muted.
Heard you call him bluffs, I show him pretty, it is for real. Son of God, not a son of sand. Keep it off the books and keep it coming in.
Let's go.
It's the old see what I'm coming in.
I got my guy from the 202. You're live on the Nation. My guy Glenn Law, man. Talk to me, man. Talk to me, bro.
Hey, what's good, Law? Happy Friday to you. Always good listening to the Nation on Friday.
Yes,
so,
indeed.
I just got a question, and I agree when you said that the thing we do is we overtalk Dak, and
yeah.
I get it, the Cowboy stuff, the star, I get all of that, but I think the question is, how did we get here in the NFL where it's just all about the quarterback? Because I look back at those early '90s Cowboys,
right?
And I know you know this.
Mm-hmm.
Troy Aikman, we were looking at him kind of side-eye for a number of years, right?
Right.
We had Steve Walsh coming in. We weren't, Jimmy wasn't really sure. Then Steve Berline started balling after Aikman got hurt.
Yeah, he balled out.
I don't want to say he balled out. I don't want to say Troy was kind of looked at as the weak link, but he kind of was, if you really go back and look at the history. But I guess the question is, how did we get here to where we overanalyze Dak so much that it just becomes all about him? And again, he's good, but he's not elite. But that's okay. But how did we get here? What year did this happen? Was it the last 10 years?
I would say the classical debates of a lot of people were shocked in 2016. A lot of people were like, because the punching bag before that on those, I think it's Cold Pizza and all of the Talking Heads and all of those shows were Tony Romo. I remember fighting tooth and nail about, and I'll call it delusional, and some people may still say to this day, I was like, man, Tony Romo is just as good as Drew Brees, right? That was my stance on it. I was fighting. I remember fighting folks, and I was saying that Tony Romo was just as good as Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers. But here's the thing. He was just as good as those boys, but he didn't have the kind of caliber of coaching as those boys too. But I remember what can go wrong will go wrong, and those shows did millions of views, and that we got a nation of young people that watch this sport. Everybody in their 20s and early 30s, they grew up watching those shows, and it was just a fad now. And when Dak Prescott was going through his way in 2016, a lot of people were like, oh, snap, could this be the year? And then for us to lose the way we lost in that playoff game, right, against the Green Bay Packers, it ignited the people to say, see, I told you, the Cowboys, this is who they are. They're a team that can't win the big games. And on the biggest and the brightest of the stage, here they are folding up like lawn chairs. And that became a whole topic line of, can the Cowboys go back for 2017? And what really blew it all up was the beautiful year that Carson Wentz was having until he got hurt. So that's what happened.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Well, last question before I get off here. So I was listening to another podcast a few weeks ago, and the caller basically noted that there was a statistic regarding Dak's interceptions, at least last year, as it pertains to last year. And that, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe you know the answer to this, but 13 of the 15 interceptions were in shotgun. Is that true?
Oh, I'll have to
do you know offhand?
Send me that link, and I'll do my analysis on it, and I'll read up over it, of the interceptions of how many was it when he was in shotgun.
Okay, because if that's true, and you know what? If I had to bet money on it, I would bet that is true. If that's true, that's a data point that I really hope McCarthy has identified, because listen, there are things that Dak does well, and there are things that he does much better.
True.
And I think he is a much better play-action quarterback, and I don't hear enough people talking about it, which means under center. And I'm here to tell you, if 75% or more of the snaps that Dak takes are under center, and if this offense is built on a play-action game,
right,
I'm here to tell you Dak's going to be, and it's not about Dak, but efficiency, let me say that. The efficiency of the offense will be off the charts, and you can mark it down. We're going to the Super Bowl.
Man,
that's
let's
my
go.
point. If we can cut that shotgun out and put him under center, and then it's just a play-action game, it's like taking candy from the baby. Those are my thoughts.
Man, let's go with it. Shout out to Glenn Law, man, from the 202. I agree with him. And my thing is the traditions of West Coast offense is under center, right? Your 3-step drops, your 5, and the ball is up out of there. And it is designed to use your running backs as running game. Who remember Roger Craig, if you're old enough to remember him? And who remembers some of the Marshall Faulks, what they ran that West Coast principle, even with the greatest show on turf. And you will fall in love with West Coast because it is designed to make your running game efficient. Because for those who try to do those zone blitzes or what have you, now you're going to have to see, okay, if this running back shades this area, then I can't be in that spot as a linebacker. And when your quarterback is under center, if he's under center, it freezes the safeties a little bit. It's a twofold way when you're in shotgun. Shotgun allows – hear me out. Shotgun allows the quarterback to see the field, right? It allows you to identify, even with your motion, whether or not you're a man or zone. It allows you to see because most quarterbacks are taught to read and should all high to low, and you can identify the actual safety. You can identify the mic. You point it out, and then you pick up your coverages, and then you go through your progressions. So under West Coast, I'm going to look at my principles. And I love the way my guy, Scott Walker, broke it down. Shout out to him. Shout out to A to Z Sports Dallas, because they do got an A to Z Sports Philly, I believe. And don't check out them. It's either touchdown or check down. And we showed you guys numerous times, even in practice, whereas Dak, his first read, if the safety is shading to the opposite side and you got the one-on-one to Brandon Cooks, down's Ed Hutt, 1, 2, 3. The ball is out, and he trusting Brandon Cooks to win his one-on-one. And if the DB missed, then that's sayonara, touchdown. And we've seen that multiple times in practice. So Brandon Cooks going to have a phenomenal year, and it's going to make the safeties play honest, and it's going to be a situation where it's going to be hard to key in on that, on the 3-step drops. And, of course, if it's one of those plays that's very predictable on your 1, 2, 3 and the third drop of your foot, if the DB can key in on that, you can have a high potential interception turnover situation. But I look at the skill set of our wide receivers, and they will body themselves out, and they will be in right positions. All right, so let's let my dog, jump on in here. Bro G from the 510, you in. Talk to me.
What's going on, Big Law?
Nothing to it, Chief.
Yeah, man, that was an interesting analysis by that was Brandon Marshall, correct?
Yeah. B. Marshall. Yep.
Yeah, so I had made that same kind of analysis, maybe a little bit right after the season ended, comparing him to quarterbacks. Actually, I was comparing Dak to. Maybe it was a show that you did that had to deal with the same kind of analysis. But I remember I was comparing him to Peyton Manning and Tom Brady the first 7 years.
Okay.
And you said, a lot of the media forgets that Dak was hurt for, he was hurt for most of 2020 and a little bit for 2021. So you put those 2 seasons together that he missed, that was like a whole season that he missed, and we're still comparing them with Tom Brady stats. I'm talking about stats, not accolades, but stats. That's a whole different thing because Brady and Manning, they got the trophies and Dak doesn't. But if we're just talking about stats, the analysis shows that he's on pace to be with them. If he continues the way he goes, he's going to be on pace stat-wise to be the same as Tom Brady and Peyton Manning.
Well, this is what I'm going to say, though, Bro G. Like Tom Brady, he's an anomaly, right? You know, I'm not gonna do that with Tom and how Bill Belichick. Hey, even though they said they burned the tape, doesn't mean that they didn't make copies, right? So I'm not trying to discount what Bill Belichick did with those first 3 Super Bowls, but hey, we don't never know. We don't look. They should have had all of the 32 teams to see the same tape that he had. You know what I'm saying? We need to see what he got. You know, but that's a whole nother story. But Peyton Manning, he fell into a system since day one with unbelievable Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, Marshall Faulk, you know what I'm saying? And then went from Marshall Faulk to my other guy, that Adrian James, you know, Dallas Clark. You know, he fell into the goodness of graces. And the only knock on Peyton Manning, he had Jim Mora for his first year, right? Then they squeezes him out of the situation and they move in Tony Dungy. All he did was being successful. And it took that brother 9 seasons, right, to win the Super Bowl. So he never, like, look, Peyton Manning never had a kind of a caliber of wide receiver like a Noah Brown, right? He didn't even have a guy to the degree of even Michael Gallup, and I ain't trying to talk bad about Michael Gallup. We talking about Reggie Wayne and things, man. You know, Marvin Harrison, dog. Those dudes, man, was phenomenal.
Dallas Clark,
right? Dallas Clark. You know, Edge. You know,
who's the running back? Adrian James.
Hall of Famers. You know what I'm saying? So, and we're not even gonna talk about the O-line for your mind. You know what I'm saying? So. Yes, for Dak Prescott to have those kind of caliber of numbers just the same, and I get it, different eras, but come on, man. You know, Marvin Harrison in any era would have been able to cook like that. Reggie Wayne and things in any era would have been able to cook like that. That's what people are missing the context out, you know, but go ahead.
And, you know, and another thing, we're on the same page with Manning and Dak as far as, you know, having weapons and not having weapons.
True.
But let's talk about this. Yes, Brady is in a category all by himself.
All by himself, dog.
I believe that Brady had 2 seasons where he didn't really have he kind of did it on his own. I want to say it was at least 2 seasons there where he didn't have like no top tier weapons. He still made it happen. Well, let's think about last year. I mean, we just had CeeDee Lamb, right?
Right.
Okay, we had the likes of, like you said, Noah Brown and Michael Gallup, and I'm still mad that we got rid of Cedric Wilson. I can't believe. I think we would have went a little bit more far if we had Cedric Wilson.
Right.
Yeah, the thing, he has also the Brady DNA too, to make other players, good players, great, and you know, vice versa. So that's another thing we can look at, that he can make the players are average. He can make an average player good. Let's say that average player is good. So let's see what's going to happen with these weapons that we have now, some bona fide weapons. I got some predictions here.
Talk to me, man. Talk to me.
This is my last point. So I'm gonna make a prediction on Dak, and I think they're gonna be pretty close. I don't think he gets 5,000 because I think our running game is gonna take some of that away, his passing orders away. So I think he's gonna go, and this is gonna be stamped. So we got the receipt here today. We got the receipts. So I think he's gonna go for like 4,800 passing, 40 TDs. 40 TDs. I'm talking about this is going to be in 16 games, not 17, because we ain't going to play that 17 game. Trey Lance is going to play that last game because we're going to have it sold up by then. So it's going to be 4,800 by 16 games, 40 touchdowns by 16 games, 5 rushing touchdowns, and that's just for Dak.
Dang.
So I'm going to go for CD. I think CD will have like about 1,600, 12 TDs. Tony Pollard will have about 1,300 yards rushing, 700 yards receiving, 15 TDs, and Micah Parsons is going to have 20 sacks on the season and a five sacks in one game, 2 interceptions, and 3 TDs. That's my prediction for those players.
Man, hey, let's rock with that, then, man. Hey, if you can project that, then let's go. You know, let's get it. I'm all good with that, bro G. And we got new sponsors too with Prize Picks, and you can put those projections on the table. Right now, they're giving you a 0.5, even if Dak Prescott throw 1 yard, you know, in the first game. So check that out, and I'm gonna drop that link in the description. It's already in the description box. So y'all check that out, man, and help the brother out there, bro. Appreciate you, man. And hey, if you win that $1,000, man, you know what I'm saying, just Just hook a brother up, man, with 10% at least.
Yeah, you want to see something in the Cash App. You want to see something in the Cash App for sure for Law Nation, supporting the nation.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you, bro.
All right, man. You have a good weekend, brother.
No doubt, man. That's Bro G. And speaking of this, these are my people right here at Prize Picks, man. And you can see where you can go to them and select yours. You know what I'm saying? So even right here, you can go do what he just said. And if you need help with that, just use his promo code LAW. And a promo code LAW, sign up, and they will match you with your first deposit of $100. They will match it. They'll match it. So you put in $100, they'll say, all right, we'll match it with you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying, if you feeling froggy jump like that, you know what I'm saying? So, hey, go down there to this particular website and then sign up and then just use promo code LAW. It's easy, man. It's easy to find that promo code right there. If you don't know how to spell LAW, then let me know and then we'll help you out. It's LAW. All right, I got Mark that drive trucks, man. Talk to me, man. Holla at your boy.
At your boy, what's going on, Law, man? What's up?
Yeah. What's good with you, dog? I love the energy, man. Talk to me.
We good, man. Hey, man, happy Labor Day weekend to you. Happy Labor Day weekend to you. Get that in there early for you, dog.
Yeah.
Have yourself some fun over the weekend, man. Hey, look, man, I'm gonna be quick because sometimes I know I can get on here and be going.
No, you good,
but
bro.
Look, man, I have no problem with anybody wanting to criticize Dak. But here's why Dak Prescott is good enough to me. Let me go like this.
Yeah.
You wouldn't criticize a bad quarterback if he didn't set your expectations high. That's not supposed to be as good as it is. The stats, okay, don't tell the whole story. I can get that for people that want to knock Dak and Dak ain't doing this and the stats don't matter.
Yeah.
The stats don't tell you the whole story. I can go there.
Okay.
But what the stats do tell you is that he's good enough to be where he is. You can't lie and put that in them damn conversations with Brady and Drew Brees and Peyton Manning at this stage at their careers comparatively, and out the same side of your mouth talk about Dak ain't good enough.
Well, let me say this though, Mark. Here's what people do, and shout out to my guy. Boss Cowboy say we will, right? Here's the we will angle of it. When it's something that's positive, they don't say, hey man, he's just like these boys. But when it's something negative, hey man, Kirk Cousins. But when Dak Prescott is like 1-7 versus Kirk Cousins, they don't even bring up that. So even if Dak Prescott is Kirk Cousins, right? By the way, Kirk Cousins' stats align with Matthew Stafford's, right? Stafford got a doggone freaking Super Bowl ring. I'm truly with the belief in a multiverse in a whole different world. That if Kirk Cousins was on that LA Rams team, right? Even them, they would have been able to win the Super Bowl there. Because Stafford and Kirk Cousins are just the same. You know what I'm saying? So
okay,
go ahead.
Okay, well, excuse me. Why would you say that? If those two, Stafford and Kirk Cousins, are essentially interchangeable,
right?
And you just switch the position, why exactly do you think that Kirk Cousins could do what Matt Stafford did in L.A. with that same team? Why?
It's because it's an ultimate team sport. You literally had Aaron Donald, who in this side of Mississippi is going to go down as one of the most dominant players in the last 20 years on defense. And even as great and as good as the great Aaron Donald, he couldn't do it by himself. They had to go get arguably the last 5 to 6 years one of the best cornerbacks by grades of all metrics. Jalen Ramsey, they had to go get him. They had to go get Odell Beckham for the offense. They had to go get other things. They made a trade transition even at the earlier part of that year to make sure that they had a decent running back in that system and philosophy, right? Remember, because the running back went down. So what this speech is saying to everyone, that the football is the ultimate team sport. There's not an individual. Even they had to go get Von Miller, who was on this side of the Mississippi too. One of the better defensive edge guys that gonna have a gold jacket when he hang them up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even gonna talk about the interior guy that had Ashawn Robinson. They had some dogs. And excuse me, that's just that's just how it goes and flows, right? You got to have a team like that. But what people gonna do is 20 years from now, they're gonna always remember Stafford won him a Super Bowl ring, right? They're gonna still remember Aaron Donald, but they're not gonna remember all of the other pieces that had to take place. And on top of that, even for them to go and grab the Odell Beckhams of the world, they already had Robert Woods. He wasn't hurt at the time, and they had Cooper Kupp. What else do they need? They had weapons. So it's cool for them to go get more weapons. But when the Cowboys do it, they say, nah, we good with a Noah Brown. And look, where would Noah Brown fit on that LA team?
I don't know if he get out the locker room.
He won't get out of the locker room. But the expectations that they had for the LA Rams is the exact same expectations that we had for the Cowboys. And who on our team in the last 5 years outside of Michael Parsons been on the level of Aaron Donald? In the last 5 to 6 years, who's been on the level of Jalen Ramsey? Outside of Diggs. Diggs still new here. You know what I'm saying? He's going into his third year, fourth year, something like that.
Right.
So people don't contextualize all of that. They just look at it. Cowboys haven't won in 27 years. Well, damn it, the Rams at that time haven't won in 20. But go ahead.
Right. No, I'm tracking, man. I'm tracking, and I'll go you one better. You got to have the team. You got to be willing to do what you need to do to put a good team on the field that's capable of winning. But specifically for the quarterback, if you're switching out Matt Stafford for Kirk Cousins, you still saying Sean McVay gonna find a way to make it work with those guys. The head coach,
that part too.
The offensive coordinator, he's gonna find a way to make that work. Right. He's gonna find a way to make that work. And again, and you know the same thing. Again, I'll say this about Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
People kind of get this out here about, well, Andy Reid only winning because of Patrick Mahomes. No, that's not true. Andy Reid was winning before he had Patrick. He might not have won a Super Bowl. But Andy Reid had a track record of success and a lot of success. He went to NFC Championship games. He went to a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles. He coached in Kansas City. If Patrick Mahomes did anything, Patrick Mahomes learned how to win from Andy Reid. Andy Reid last year, Patrick Mahomes playing on one leg, he sat Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, sat him down one game, went and dusted off somebody's high school coach, brought him in there inside of a week in a playoff environment. Got that guy ready to play in a week, less than a week. Got him ready to play. And go and win a Super Bowl game win a playoff game so they could give Patrick Mahomes a game of rest. A coach that knows what he's doing and knows how to go and win a game, he'll find a way to go and win a game. We ain't had nothing close to that here. You can go back to Tony Romo, God bless his soul. Because Tony Romo didn't catch half the hell Dak Prescott got, and he went through the same damn thing. No coaching. Romo got to be smarter than the head coach and the OC, just like Dak got to be smarter than the OC and the head coach. And when they can't, then it's their fault. And that's on Jerry Jones, too. Because he's standing around. Nobody said nothing about Romo's job. Nobody said nothing about getting Jason Garrett out of here. Jason Garrett went 8-8. And Romo didn't didn't win no games. Nobody argued about giving Romo no money. Nobody talked about firing Jason Garrett. 10 years, and Jerry Jones all of a sudden now he needs to win a Super Bowl and don't let Dak mess it up. People are crazy. Our fans are crazy. We sit here and watch this stuff go on. We know the problem has always been at the top. Look at Mike McCarthy, and you can see it. Mike McCarthy is doing something here that God bless him has not had forever, and that's a damn coach. He don't put a headset. He don't win his part to put a headset on Dak Prescott. Say, man, call the game. Will Grimm look like trash for the preseason.
And now everybody got mad because he gone.
Dak go get Will Grimm a job because he called the game a certain way. And that's all again going to Mike McCarthy, putting it on Dak Prescott. Hey man, this is what you can do to win. You ain't got to stand up here and spread the ball. You ain't got to do all of that. We already know you can. To whatever level people want to call that is fine, but you don't put them numbers up if you can't do it. But that is about winning the game. Look at the game, man. Call it. Whatever we need to do, get your hands on it. Get tempo. Hey, it's okay to turn around and hand the football off. It's okay to dump it into the flat. It's okay to wait for your shot. He dialed us and shot for Will Gritter to make plays down the field.
Man.
Will Gritter just missed him.
Man.
Y'all didn't tell me if that's that instead of Will Gritter, that they don't score 50 points in that game.
Man, come on, preacher.
Dak is not the problem. Just like Romo wasn't the problem. They easy to blame because they on the field. Nobody raised this kind of hell with Tony Romo throwing 4 and 5 interceptions a game.
Get it, man. Get it, boy.
Dak ain't the problem. Dak is the solution. You got a lot of people just can't do the math. That's all it is. But we got that now. So I'm going to leave that alone. Hey, look, man, anybody thinking different, I'm just telling you. Patrick Mahomes will be Patrick Mahomes. Anywhere else in the league, he'll still be Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
But Andy Reid is the reason why he's a champion. So that's what you better understand. You're going to separate them quarterbacks and them Super Bowls from them head coaches. You don't do it. Because you can't do it.
Man.
And if you're trying to do it, you're telling on yourself. It's okay you don't like that. You lie hard, play games all you want to. You win because of who called the plays, not who's on the center.
Man, you spit the truth, man. Hey, thank you, Mark, man, and keep doing your thing, Chief. Salute, man.
Yes, sir.
Let me hear you say it, dog, with all that energy, man.
How about them Cowboys?
Yes, indeed.
How about them Cowboys?
Yes, indeed. Don't that feel good? You know. I see somebody put regress Scott in the chat. Somebody put regress Prescott in the chat. Because I know they come from the Eagles community. But one thing I'm going to say, though, with regressions, he hung 40 points. 40 points on the Eagles. Because last I checked, I know y'all didn't have Jalen Hurts in that game. But I seen Slay out there, Bradbury out there, the other interior defensive guy. I think he was still out there at the time. Oh, my goodness, man. Every time I just think of people when they be spitting that stuff out there, I just think about what CeeDee Lamb did to y'all. Reed guy, did y'all pushing up and propping up? I mean, he put the brother in a blender, So even through the regressions, the word that y'all thought that was going to sully and denigrate Dak Prescott, it ended up being 3rd and 30, right? Pent back on his side of the field, and he drops back, and he hit a 33-year-old guy who didn't play at all in preseason, who wasn't out here in Oxnard, and he got the first down. So in a regression, he put up 40. Can you imagine that? You know what I'm saying? So can you imagine if he wasn't regress Scott? If he didn't break his thumb there, I say, oh man, he would have hung 50 on those boards. Let me know if I'm wrong. Look, drops back. Oh my goodness. And he goes deep. I can't make this stuff. Drop the ball, CD. Yeah. So I can only imagine. If you think that was a one-up, and this dude since 2019 averaged 33 points to 34 points a game versus the Eagles. If anything, the Eagles need to hush and go cry somewhere else, because in order to beat a man, you got to beat the man. That's what Ric Flair said. Woo! And y'all haven't done that yet. Y'all haven't done it since 2019, and it took a torn shoulder for you guys to win in that game. Because if I'm not mistaken, earlier that year in 2019, he won one, right? Y'all split it with us in 2019, right? So come on. And then if you want to go all the way back into 2018, he put 455 yards on the Eagles. Didn't he do that? Didn't he put so if his regressions, if his regression is going from 455 yards down to 305, then dog, hey, y'all got a rude awakening, because he did that with old weapons. Shoot, he got Brandon Cooks this year. Look, the NFL knew what they was doing when they put the game on week 9 juxtaposed to week 1. They giving y'all a little grace, and they're providing a little mercy over there for the Eagles right now. Because right now, y'all first few games is just going to be cakewalk until y'all at least see Washington, right? But when y'all see us week 9, if both parties healthy, I can't wait for us to put 40 points back on y'all. Because last I checked, y'all defense, y'all got rid of y'all interior threat, and last I heard, even the guy that y'all was parading over talking about Nolan Smith that the Cowboys should have picked up, I don't even think that he can see the field this year. So come on, baby. It's fair to be medieval over here on those Eagles. Ooh. Y'all, see, this is what happened. This is what happened. Before I let my guy Brandy jump on. This is what happened. You see, all of the East Coast media, the media is based off the East Coast. They speak glowingly of the Giants. They speak glowingly of the doggone Eagles all the time, because East Coast biasness, But we from the West over here in Texas, and we dominate the East because we all some beasts. They know for sure they talk down on us Cowboys, and we will fight any chance to get into this good conversational piece. But the Eagles, the Washington, and also the Giants, they get all of that East Coast biasness, but that's okay. That's okay. Continue to hate us because they ain't us, but they know we the best. And even if it's been 27 years, the other part of that question is this right here. How come y'all haven't caught up? We on a sabbatical and y'all haven't caught up. Y'all still looking up. Y'all got stomach muscles in the neck because y'all been looking up so much. Ain't that right? From the 815, Brandon, you're live.
What's up, Locke? Can you hear me?
Man, I can hear you, dog. I can hear you. Let's go.
I want to make sure I'm super clear. Crystal clear.
Crystal, you clear, man. You got good Wi-Fi wherever you at.
Okay. So, this is the thing. How many Super Bowls did Andy Reid have before Pat Mahomes? Y'all can answer that question on your own time.
He been to one. He went to one in the Eagles.
Let's end that notion right now. How many Super Bowls did Andy Reid have?
Oh, he had none. He had none.
Oh, okay.
But that could also be. And how many Super Bowls did Pat Mahomes have before Andy? None.
I mean, Pat Mahomes come along.
But that's a straw man. That's a straw man's argument. That's a straw man's argument.
It's not,
it is because there's no empirical evidence. Hold on. That's anecdotal. That's anecdotal because there's no evidence that Pat Mahomes can win a Super Bowl without Andy Reid.
Oh, I do know this. Andy Reid had 0 before Pat Mahomes. So
but he been to the Super Bowl before. It wasn't Andy Reid's fault that Donovan McNabb started throwing up into the doggone end zone. Hey, if he had a harder stomach, they probably would have got a Super Bowl with the Eagles, dare I say, versus the Patriots. But doggone Donovan McNabb throwing up his liver and spleen. He had Terrell Owens and all of those boys ready to score. They only lost by 3 points. But by the way, I'm glad that they didn't win that Super Bowl.
I love to poke fun at Donovan McFlab. That's what we used to call him back in Memphis. Donovan McFlab.
So was that Andy fault? Was that Andy fault or was that McNabb fault? They could have won one. They only lost by 3 points.
I'm not gonna do that because then you were trying to make it seem like I'm not gonna follow to that game. All I know is I'm gonna say it's a collaborative effort. It's team. There's no I in team, so no, I cannot put it all on Donovan McFlab. But that's a Prescott.
Hold on. Let me ask you this. Is McNabb better than Romo? Wait a minute. Why that long pause, bro? Come on, bro. Come on, man. Is McNabb better than Romo?
Yes. I think McFlab is a little bit better than Romo.
Bull sugar, man. No way.
Come Law. No. That's not Law. I love Tony Romo. I'm not gonna do that because I know the Cowboy fans that don't got that much common sense will be like, oh, you trying to no. And we now we got to have a real discussion if you think that Tony Romo was a better quarterback than Donovan McNabb. I don't think so. But I don't because the slow people won't be able to understand.
Is Andy Reid better than Jason Garrett?
They're not even in the same classroom. They couldn't even be in the same classroom together. Andy Reid is way better than Jason Garrett.
All right. What's your point, man? What's your point for the day, man? What's your point for the day, man? See, I ain't gonna say nothing else. I ain't gonna say nothing else, though. You know what I'm saying? Because
I want to address a few of these points that Law was trying to do. It's just because I got to get through them quick. Because there was so many of them, and most of them is Law. Law was doing Law stuff. That's all I'm going to say. So he had Brandon Marshall on there. Oh, they had such a bad defense those years. Well, all I know is the last 2 years we had a defense that was led the league in takeaways. The last 2 years we was at least in top 5 of sacks. I believe the first year we lost to San Francisco, we might have been number 1 in sacks. Miss me with the we had bad defense because I don't know about yesterday. I don't know about 10 years ago, but this previous season we had a pretty good defense.
What was the Niners ranked defense? Were they ranked number 3 both of those 2 years?
Law.
Where were the rank? Where were the Niners ranked defense?
I don't know. You tell me, Law. But all I know is Dak threw 2 interceptions. One interception was in the red zone. I don't know what that had to do with the rank of their defense.
Well. Let's go back to 2020. Let's go back to 2021. Hold on. In 2021, and I'm not trying to lay this up all the way and say, okay, Dak Prescott didn't have a poor game in that game, by the way. But in 2021, there was 14 penalties, most ever in this century in the playoffs. 14 penalties. Plus, on top of that, that was Kellen Moore's 3rd season ever calling plays in a playoff, basically. And on top of that, 3rd season ever calling plays in general. On top of that, to go up against that level of defense, what was the game plan, right? Because they didn't have one in 2021, nor did they have a game plan in 2022. I think that both seasons, Kellen Moore, the inexperienced Kellen Moore teams were poking and getting that brother for interviews, and his mindset wasn't even there. Here's another thing, too. Here's another thing. It's not like the Niners, with all of that scrap metal of criticism that you're putting out there. It's not like they blew us out either. They didn't blow us out because that Niners defense.
Oh my God!
Hold on, but let me expound upon this. Let me expound upon this. The same levels of expectations, it was high for the Cowboys in 2021, were not given to even a quarterback who led the league in MVP, took their team 13-4, who collectively had the 3rd overall defense, couldn't put up more points against that same team. And I'm talking about a guy that's on the New York Jets right by now. He's one of the best quarterbacks we've seen on this side of Mississippi, too, in the last 20 years. And that guy couldn't beat the same team that we talking about that this quarterback struggled against. I digress.
Okay, now, I want for all the people, I want any Cowboy fan that's on here, any objective Cowboy fan to listen to what I'm about to say. We talking about Dak Prescott. Now, Law talked about 4 to 5 different other things that had nothing to do with Dak Prescott.
It brings a lot of context to it because that was the class MVP of 2021 who had home field advantage throughout the playoffs, and he couldn't beat the same team that we lost, and he even lost to a more worse passing quarterback, QBR, and all of that stuff. He had even worse of a game than Dak Prescott had, but keep going. Context, man.
I would like to just
context,
please, because, okay, so again, we talked about things that had nothing to do with Dak Prescott. So I'm going to talk about Dak Prescott.
Talk about Dak Prescott.
Again, back to the 49er game that Law brought up.
Right.
Dak Prescott missed CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb up the middle had the linebacker 54 on him. Missed Michael Gallup. Miss Michael Gallup.
Are you talking about 2022 or 2021? Let's get the years correct.
I'm talking about last year.
All right, so hold on. CeeDee Lamb dropped that ball. It was perfect covered it was perfect covered by Fred Warner, but that ball hit CeeDee Lamb's right in the hand. I know what play vividly you talking about. He catches that could have changed the complexity of the game, by the way. I'm not saying that CeeDee Lamb is trash, by the way, but that ball took go back and watch that play. Now T.Y. was open on that same play, but that ball was very catchable. And I would never blame a quarterback going to his number one target juxtaposed to going to his third target, who he didn't really have chemistry on, because the Cowboys didn't bring him in until like halfway to the season was over with. But keep going.
Yeah, I still haven't got to my point, but I'm gonna go down this little rabbit hole with Law. Now, okay, so that was a miscatch that CeeDee Lamb should have caught it. I don't agree with that, but okay, let's say Law got that right. So what was that when Tavon Austin running naked, wide open,
Tavon.
and Prescott missed him? Oh, Dak Prescott, Rain Dakota missed him.
You talking about 2019?
You going back? You went back to 2016. Oh, we had some kind of defense. You called them like. What are we talking? Like, that's what I'm saying. So I can't go back to Tavon, but Law just went back.
That wasn't even a playoff game. That wasn't even a playoff game. And for context, by the way, Dak Prescott didn't practice all that week. He had a bum shoulder, and you might want to call him bum or what have you, but he had a bum shoulder, and they threw him in that game on a must-win game versus the Eagles. I foreseen that game. We drove all the way down to the 20. Dak Prescott called a running play. My guy did a great job on it, but Ezekiel Elliott patted his helmet, got out of that play, brought in Tony Pollard. His first play, cold Tony Pollard, fumbled the ball. How many points did we lose by in that game?
Hey, I don't deny that fumble was bad.
It was bad.
It was. But do you deny missing a wide open? I
don't deny that.
When Dak fails, it's everybody's fault. Kellen Moore didn't call a good.
Excuse me, that was his first year ever calling plays, by the way. But keep going.
Yeah, Kellen Moore didn't call good plays. The defense in 2016 wasn't opportunistic enough for Law. Last year, I guess, look, you even had, I'm not going to say it was Law Nation, but you even had some Cowboy fans that said, no, that Prescott wasn't the reason we lost. Trevon Diggs dropping an interception, that was the reason. Like, miss me with the Dak apology tour. Like,
hold on. So excuse me, that wasn't a big play. You're gonna excoriate everything else, but you're gonna dismiss that play, which was an illegal play, by the way. An illegal play down the field that George Kittle made in that particular moment, which shouldn't have been a play, but was a play for a big yard. But I guess I know how it goes. That's still Dak Prescott's fault. But keep going. That's still Dak Prescott's fault. That's his fault. He should have played better. But this is the classic of a ultimate team sport, and in that game, it's a football, it's a ball of inches. But I already said Dak Prescott, he couldn't have played like that. He couldn't have played like that, especially on 2nd and 2 inside your own 20. They go empty and throw that interception. You can't give up the ball right there. And on top of that, going to my guy Michael Gallup on the outside with his torn ACL on a hitch route. You can't play like that. When they already playing zone cover defense, they are literally, all of the DBs and the safety is playing at the sticks. That could have been an easy option for him to do a slant route at least, or hit Ezekiel Elliott underneath. Those two plays were very costly in that game. They were. I have no rebuttal to that.
I just want to reiterate. We have a great team. We have a tremendous team. Dak Prescott, he know the playbook so well. He was the offensive coordinator the last preseason game.
Yep.
We have no excuse. I want to say this though before I go.
Say it.
If you really want to know who Dak Prescott is, go watch that the Washington football team game when Michael Parsons was going crazy, when the defense was going crazy. Go look at Dak Prescott in the second half. How about them Cowboys? Dak Prescott, I was watching. I don't care what your fans say. Shout out to Law Nation. Shout out to the nation. How about them Cowboys?
No doubt, man. I don't even know what he's talking about on that Washington game because from what we knew, the coaching staff said that they were going vanilla. That was a game that wasn't a must-win. It doesn't change the standards of the playoff game, by the way, because here's what we do. We blow out the Washington team by 50 points, and they say, well, that's a game that don't matter, right? And what can you do in the playoffs? They move the goalposts. We go literally in the playoff and lose to the Niners, and they say, see, we should have did that against the Niners. So then, here we go. We lose to the Washington game, right? We lose last year. Hey, we lost so badly because we got hopes from my doggone guy, Louis T., who think that Sam Howell is the second coming of Pat Mahomes, right? He's closer to Pat Mahomes than any other quarterback that's in the NFC East, by the way. So we lose in that game for us to ultimately go to the next game to literally destroy the Tampa Bay. You see, on one end, Tampa Bay was a real good team earlier part of that year. They just snuck into the playoffs. But in the back part of the year, somehow they fell off the map. The Cowboys haven't won a road playoff game in 30 years, right? There's people who's watching this who haven't seen the Cowboys win in 30 years on the road. And we do just that, the kicker missing every kick, and we go in there and destroy Tampa Bay. But that game don't count. But if it was the fact that that game, somehow we were to lose in that game, people would have been saying, see, look, he can't win the big game. So I get it. The big game for Dak Prescott is the next game. It never will be the big game of it being the big game. It will always be the next game, right? Because I heard people say, hey, this is a big game. And then we win. Let's move it a little bit further. That is continuing moving the goalposts. The only thing that Dak Prescott can do to solidify and satisfy most of the Cowboy fans is to win the freaking Super Bowl. And even lo and behold, if he win the Super Bowl, there'll be a third of the Cowboy nation saying, hey, it was because of the defense, not because of him. I can't make this stuff up. I can't. I literally can't make this stuff up. When we all been saying, for those who got gold jackets and beyond, to say that this is the ultimate team sport. That you need coaching. We had somebody that just said that this team need coaching. But we had a degree of the knowledge of understanding that we took a person. Let me say this again, that nobody in the history of the NFL took a guy that was on the team with the quarterback to ultimately lose his job, to make him the quarterback coach, then from him to be the quarterback coach, to being the offensive coordinator, for him to pour upon the knowledge to the guy that's the actual player on the team, which is Dak Prescott. And ultimately, we're supposed to win the Super Bowl. I can't make this stuff up. You can never please a Cowboy fan because this is all they're going to say. They're going to cry, moan about the last 27 years. I can't make this stuff up. It is false reality of what they believe in. I got my guy from the 443. You're live on the Nation. Talk to me.
Law Nation, what's going on, man?
All is good. Can't complain.
Happy Friday, brother. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you.
Let me go ahead and go ahead and shoot down that last caller, man. Like, how do you not take into consideration that, one, we lost one of our number one weapons, which was Tony Pollard in that game against the 49ers.
Right.
We were driving for a touchdown. Your number two receiver is Noah Brown. Come on, man. All you got is CeeDee Lamb. We're forcing the ball to CeeDee Lamb. We're not playing situational football. I kept telling people this all year long last year. Y'all think Kellen Moore is this big offensive genius. A team is going to sign him away. I prayed that somebody would take Kellen Moore away. I prayed for somebody to take Kellen Moore away. I got so tired of seeing 3rd and 13s, and we running 4 curl routes that go 8 yards.
Right.
I got tired of seeing that from him, man. He had no situational awareness, nothing whatsoever. I think people fail to realize that Prescott dealt with a historically bad defense. When you was talking about that earlier, historically bad. I mean, no defense was ever as terrible as that defense was. Yeah. All we ever had was Sean Lee for so many years. And for so many years, I can't remember if it was Barry Church, it was somebody that said they never gave full effort because Sean Lee was able to correct everything.
Yeah.
How can you have a defense like that, man? How can you have a defense like that?
Well, my dog. Here's my 1,000 truths. I get it. Dak Prescott laid the egg in that game, but even if we look back at that game, there's not a soul that I've spoken to that's alive that can literally tell me what was the game plan. What did we try to take away? What did we attempted to do in that game?
Nothing.
What was the whole ideology? You got the #1 zone cover defense in the National Football League. You got Fred Warner, who's literally a cannon, like a safety playing down inside as your Roman linebacker. You go 2nd and 2. And you show up empty. And you throw 2 hitches. And the inside, you have the guy by the name of C.D. Lamb who ran an option, whereas the slant was there, but he had to pivot to come back on that stop route. To come back. And it could have been you or anybody with any level of linebacker skill to sit at the 2-yard line to say, okay, if anything getting in this zone area, I'm going to at least bat it down. There was 2 players there. That curse on that play, she should have just tucked it and ran it. You know what I'm saying? But he just literally seen, like, I don't get paid millions of dollars to call plays or to understand defense, but I can guarantee you 2nd and 2 inside your own 20, you just don't run that particular play, by the way. I just don't see it. I just don't see it.
At all. When you got short yardage, why not run the ball? When Tony goes down, you're leaning on Zeke. Come on, man. All year we've seen that Zeke don't got burst no more. He no longer has burst. You seen Malik played actually pretty decent when we put him in the year.
Yeah.
Give him a shot. You wouldn't even give the young man a shot. Wouldn't even put him in a game. We feeding slow-ass Zeke.
No, you good. Let it out.
Zeke.
Yeah.
We feeding slow-ass Zeke all game, and Zeke getting us 2-3 yards, praying that maybe he'll get a burst.
Yeah.
You ain't seen it all year. Make you think you're gonna see it at that point.
Yeah.
You running out of time in the half. You can put points on the board before the half go, and we call that.
Yes, indeed. At least, man. Hey, I'm gonna use this as an analogy. You know, some women don't have big breasts, right? But they at least give you the illusion that they do because they got what you call a push-up bra, or they put tissue down there so they can give you an illusion so that you can say, hey, what's up, lady, if you like breasts. You know what I'm saying? So when the Cowboys go inside the 2nd and 2, when you go empty, you don't even give the illusion. You saying that's a flat-out pass, and when you are the #1 zone cover defense, you sitting there like, shoo, you got empty? I already know what I'm going to do. Ain't no plays gonna be made.
No play action, none. No play action, no nothing, man.
No nothing. But this is the deck of cards we had against the 49ers. This is the brilliant genius that we had against the 49ers. Come on, man. But I appreciate you, bro. I thank you so much for calling in.
Hey, Law Nation, I appreciate you, homie, man. Enjoy your weekend.
Appreciate you, man. Yeah, man. Y'all give her what I'm saying. Didn't even give the illusion, the illusion that, hey, man, she got something there. You know what I'm saying? It was just flat action. Come on, y'all. I can't make this stuff up. You know, let me know if I'm wrong. You didn't even give the illusion. We went 2nd and 2. Even there's people right now that's sitting there like, shoot, if it's going to be zone, shoot, if we're going to play zone and they're going to give us that, shoot, we got the sideline as our friend and we got a short end zone that's our friend. Shoot, we just going to load it up. I talked to my brother who's a diehard Niner fan, and he said literally that they looked at that tape and they said that the Cowboys run this option route, and 9 times out of 10, if you give them that look multiple times, they'll jump the route. That same play that my guy Michael Gallup did, he did it on the opposite side. Their DBs already talked about, hey, remember, when this play is exhibited again, they're going to go back to this look. All you got to do is sit on that route, sit at the stick. That's where the ball at. We're going to jump it 100% of the time. And guess what they did? Even, look, put it like this. Even if Gallup was to catch that ball where Dak Prescott threw the other interception, he had the safety over the top. Some of y'all don't understand football on quarters defense and when they play the 2 cover shells, meaning that we giving you guys the run. We literally saying, run the ball on us. We only rushing 4. We got the spies Fred. What the Eagles did, they looked at that tape. There's a guy who played in the National Football League, played for Hell State. His name is Darius. Yeah, Slay. He said what made them have the ability to beat the 49ers is because they looked at the Dallas tape. And if they're going to try to give us those looks, we're going to run the ball. Even though they averaged 2 or 3 yards per toe, they were still able to get them out of their looks because they ran the ball. The Cowboys' tendency, they didn't run the ball. Why? They didn't have a coordinator to know how to develop plays to run the ball. Come on, man. Appreciate y'all so much for jumping in. I got my guy VIP. You're live from the 860. Let's go. I gotta play clock game though with you though. Go ahead.
It's VIP, baby. Law, I'm not even gonna address this clown anymore, man. I'm just like, people talk just to hear they self-taught sometimes. You sound clownish at this point. So I'm not gonna address your name. When we get to the board, I'll address you better. But I did go do the research, and our quarterback is in the same room with Tom Brady, with the great Peyton Manning, when it comes to statistics in their first 8 to 9 years. So what are we talking about? When it comes to just like why do we take this angle as Cowboy Nation, supposed Cowboy Nation, to bash our quarterback? We're the only nation that does this. It's pathetic at this point, Law. Really. Respectfully. So I'm going to move on to something that really matters, like game 1. Do we want to win, or do we want Dak to lose? That's why I'm confused at. Because if Dak loses, we lose.
Okay.
Does he realize that?
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Yeah. I feel you. Oh, man, I feel you, man. It's crazy, though. It's crazy. It's crazy, bro. And this team, we seen, like, when I looked at the game, that Dak Prescott was calling for Will Grier. And if y'all listen to my commentary, I said it's not about even the execution of the play. It's about the philosophy and the principle of the play. I wanted to see what he wanted to do. And he himself tried to establish the run on all of his drives on his plays, man. Appreciate you so much, man. Let me hear you say it.
How about them Cowboys? I ain't a killer, but don't push me, Brandon.
Oh, man. All right, so everybody else, man, it's going to be 60 seconds, man. I got to bounce, though, but we're going to keep it. I got 9 people in the chat, 9 people on hold. I want y'all to get y'all thoughts out, so I'm going to let y'all run. It's going to be rapid fire. So let's go, Cowboy Nation. Hey, man, these type of shows are great shows. These type of shows are shows that y'all want to get stuff off your chest, man. So rapid fire time, y'all know how it goes. Cowboy Nation, let's go. I got my guy from 682 Nation. You're live on the channel, man. Talk to me, dog.
Man. You lucky, cause I had some stuff for bread. Oh my God, I had some stuff for bread.
You all right?
I'm gonna be calm. I'm calm down. Cause first, you're not gonna disrespect my man Tony Romo to compare him to McNabb, which one of the quarterbacks that had one of the lowest QB ratings of all time, bro. Really? You were comparing a 66 QB rating versus a 57 QB rating, bro. The person that averaged 2 interceptions per game throughout his career versus a person that averaged 1.7. Come on now. Come on, dog. Really, bro. I'm gonna calm down. I'm gonna let the board. I'm gonna let VIP have him. All right. I'm gonna let VIP have him. I want Darius. That's the person I'm gonna target. That's the person I want. But anyway, I'm get off of that.
Man, appreciate you, dog, man. Thank you so much, Nation. All right, speaking of Darius is actually next, though. So what I want somebody to do is extrapolate Tony Romo stats compared to Donovan McNabb's stats and put them side by side, you know, and I don't care what years or what have you. I don't know who played more, who played less. Just put them side by side and then let that be the equalizer here. And then I want you to, when you put those records side by side, like whatever stats, because I know y'all can do it for me, hit me up in the DMs and I'm going to post it. I'm going to give you credit for it. Then start to think, what if Romo had Andy Reid? Juxtaposed to my guy, Jason Garrett. You know, I got my guy, Darius, man, from the 214. Appreciate you, man. You're live on the Nation. Talk to me.
Hey, no doubt. Straight up. Check this out. Nation, I was going to get on Nation ass because I remember what he said the first time he called in. And I want to, we can set up that panel. But this is my thing. I'm not going to address that just yet because I'm going to unleash on him at a different time when I have actual time. Okay. But I don't like that I'm being mischaracterized as a Dak hater. Bro, okay. When have you ever heard me call in hating on Dak? When? Hey, Law Nation, who don't I like, bro? Who don't I like?
Look, bro, I forgot, man. You know, but who you don't like, dog? Hurry up.
Mike McCarthy.
McCarthy. Damn. It was Mike McCarthy. So let me refresh your time. I'm gonna refresh your time. I'm gonna give you another 60 seconds for that. There you go. Go ahead. Spit your mind. Spit your thoughts.
Don't Nation, get your shit right. If you gonna address me, please quote me properly. I don't fuck with Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
That's who I got a problem with. That's who I got a problem with. I don't got a
you
problem
can still
with
battle
that,
him. You can still battle him. You can still go head to head, toe to toe. I know you ain't gonna shade him. You know, come on, let's go. What you got for the show?
I'm gonna need some real time to dissect that. But what I'm gonna say is, overall, I don't like how we discredit like certain people like Joe Burrow, Pat Mahomes, like all of these quarterbacks that actually like put their team on their back and actually take them to the Super Bowl. And sometimes actually win it. Like we can't, just because we Cowboys fans, we can't like not give credit where credit is due. But like we can't do that. I don't like that we do that. Law, you gotta keep it 100. You be doing that I heard you throw the shade at Joe Burrow. I'm like, wait a minute now.
Yeah. I did. Hold on. Let me rebuttal. Let me retort. This is my time now. You had your 60 seconds. You know what I'm saying? I would say this though. Coming out of college, Joe Burrow's head and shoulders way higher than Dak Prescott. And on top of that, far as Dak Prescott versus Joe Burrow's, I'll be a monkey's uncle to say that Dak Prescott is a better thrower and a passer of the ball than Joe Burrow's. But what I'm saying is that we got to look at the totality of Joe Burrow. From birth, going into the NFL, Joe Burrow's had better surrounding weapons than Dak Prescott. And on top of that, Jamar Chase ain't no one to sneeze at. T. Higgins, he's a dog. Tyler Boyd and all of those boys. So he didn't have to go through the runs. What'd you say? Wait a minute. What you mean?
Don't do that now.
No, Joe Burrow's his rookie year, he didn't have Jamar Chase, but his second year, he for dog had Jamar Chase, a young lad that was getting in there.
Burrow? What was the Bengals doing before Burrow? Come on, don't do that.
Oh, snap. Oh, so you want to go there, dare I say. Well, the Cowboys were, how many games they won before Dak Prescott got there? If you want to do that, you know, they won, 4 games that year?
This ain't I ain't talking about that. I don't got no problem with that. I'm talking about you discredited Joe Burrow. Don't do that. I know we Cowboy fans, but we got to keep it 100 now.
Wait a minute. What did I say wrong? What did I say wrong of Joe Burrow's? He had a babies of weapons. Joe Burrow didn't do that with, dare I say, with a Noah Brown. He's not doing all what he's doing with a Noah Brown.
But what I'm trying to tell you is, the Bengals wasn't doing shit before Burrow got there. They wasn't doing nothing.
But wait a minute. So that Dak Prescott fault?
Here's the Bengals.
Man, Joe Burrow cool, but I said this. I like Trevor Lawrence over Joe Burrow.
I can get jiggy with that. But Joe Burrow is Tom Brady in the flesh. Joe Burrow is Tom Brady reincarnated.
Look. Outside of my Cowboys, watch out for Trevor Lawrence this year. He finna get busy with it, and he's finna get his respect. Watch what Trevor Lawrence do this year. And I like that name, Lawrence, too, by the way. But I appreciate you, Darius. Thank you for calling in.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Me and my guy Shango, we was talking for hours about how good Trevor Lawrence is about to be, But it takes a complete team. And hear me out. Don't shank me with the butter knife. We both like Dak Prescott. But, man, if you put Trevor Lawrence on the Cowboys and not Dak Prescott during that time frame, shoot. And I'm not saying that Trevor Lawrence is better. What I'm saying is the dude got unbelievable talent. But don't y'all sleep on Rain Dakota Prescott. This chapter 8 of Dak Prescott is finna be phenomenal. It's finna go crazy. It's finna go real good for all of us. I got my guy Swayze from the 908. You live. Talk to me.
This is Swayze, the objective Cowboy fan, giving objective analysis. I've been hearing a lot of emotional talk. A lot of people misquoting stats, things of that nature. Just got off a train in Manhattan, just did some business work that was in the meeting, so let me put y'all straight. I heard an earlier caller saying that Dak had like an all-time worst defense. All you gotta do is just go on Google and just Google team defense. We never had an all-time worst defense. What are you talking about? Are you mentioning the 2013-2012 Cowboys with Tony Romo? Maybe referring to that, but it wasn't Dak Prescott. Number 2, I just heard you mention Joe Burrow's amazing talent around him. Joe Burrow has one of the worst offensive lines in the league. That was crying with Dak Prescott. That was crying with Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott didn't have elite talent at the offensive line. We had average offensive linemen, but I was crying because he even had elite talent at the offensive line. Joe Burrow has the worst offensive line. Don't even put them in the same category. I'm sorry. He went to the NFC Championship. Don't even put them in the same category.
Oh, come on, man.
Very biased right now. So that's number 2. Number 3. Like I said before, it's Dak lovers and it's Dak haters. It's callers that's Dak lovers and it's Dak haters. But you got people that's in the middle who knows what it is. He's our Alex Smith. He's
come
Alex
on,
Smith.
man! No. See, if I was a Dak lover, I wouldn't have mentioned I wouldn't have spoke so glowingly of Trevor Lawrence. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man! And somebody right now mad at me now for what I said about Trevor Lawrence, but they didn't look at the complete complexity of what I'm talking about Trevher Lawrence. Both guys are really good. I think that Dak Prescott behind his team is finna be MVP-esque, man. Watch, and hey. I'm gonna make a deal with you, okay, Swayze? I'm gonna make a deal with you.
Okay.
Like I made with my guy Brandon. I told Brandon when me and him talking, we can no longer say that Dak Prescott is the black Kirk Cousins, right? Yeah, that was the agreement that me and him made because what Dak Prescott did against Kirk Cousins last year, and what he did all together last year, coming off with that broken thumb.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
let's make agreement. If Dak Prescott make a deep run in the playoffs and put up those unbelievable numbers like even the simulation said, can you stop comparing him to Alex Smith? Can you do that for me? Can we put that on the table? But if Dak Prescott stinks and if Dak Prescott do the exact same thing he did last year, then we can say Alex Smith. Can we agree with that?
I mean, of course, I'll just compare him to the Jaguars quarterback who took the Jaguars to the AFC Championship, even though he wasn't a part of it. It was just the defense.
Blake Bortles?
Like I said before. Yeah, Blake Bortles.
Oh, my God,
the defense carried the Cowboys to the NFC Championship. The defense, which you got the best defense in the league. If you carry us and Dak was just part of the ride, he was just the bus driver, you can't say, oh, it was because of Dak. Like, I mean, let's have some common sense. Like, let's
lump it in together.
All our players.
When we go make this deep run and we get to the Super Bowl and beyond, can you remove Blake Bortles, Alex Smith, and anybody else like a Kirk Cousins out your vocabulary when you're comparing to Dak Prescott? Can you do that for me? If we do that.
Definitely. Not that. Bro, I'm going to be the first person, if we go to the Super Bowl, I'm going to be the first person, oh, my God, Dak, I love you. Like, trust me, like, I'm Cowboys first, but at the same time, I'm objective.
Wait. I'm going to let you go, but with your objective analysis. Also, because I remember, I got good memory. It's good. I remember that you said that Jalen Hurts is elite, right? And Jalen Hurts is better. So when week 9 comes,
Jalen Hurts is elite, yeah.
Yeah. When week 9 comes, can you put that to rest? If both quarterbacks on the field at the same time, both healthy. After week 9, it's a regular season.
The reason why, because it's an NFC East divisional game. It's gonna be blood, sweats, and tears. That doesn't really like Eli Manning to beat Tony Romo all the time. I'm not gonna say Eli Manning is better than Tony Romo. You kind of get what I'm saying? Like it just happens. Like it's just the way our NFC East division games
man,
are.
you
Swayze.
I'm gonna let you go, but you're a real piece of work, man. Appreciate you, dog.
No. Before I go though, one time before I go, it's the most important game in black coaching history. Deion Sanders versus TCU. That's something people don't understand as black people. That's the most important game in black coaching history because of our culture. But I'm gonna let you go. All right.
No doubt. Prime should have stayed his ass in doggone Jackson State. But that's a whole nother story. Don't mind the man putting money in his books. But, you know, here's what I'm saying. Now, my guy Swayze, the objective cowboy, that's his whole name when he called in. He's saying that Jalen Hurts is elite, right? So we're going to put that to bed week 9 when I can't wait for my guy Rain Dakota Prescott versus, I hope both guys are healthy and we can get this thing going. You know, my guy Dallas Cowboy hard hitter says, "Law, you mad at Prime?" Yeah, man. But here's what I'm gonna say with Prime. I don't mind him chasing that bag, man. You know, $700,000 versus $5 million. You know, for whatever they gonna pay him over there in Colorado. And you look at that facility over there. Shoot, they got float. Look, Colorado got float therapy systems in their school. You know what I'm saying? Queen Cowboy for the 9-10. You're alive, Queen.
Now, can I please have more than 60 seconds?
I give you 120. 160 seconds times 2. Go ahead.
Okay, since the other guy already said fuck, can I say what's on my mind?
Oh, say what's on your mind, baby. It's you. Talk to me.
Okay, I'm going to say what I've been wanting to say for a very long time, and it's about Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon reminds me of a woman that maybe Dak Prescott dipped down, and Brandon also did fellatio on the booty hole, and then Dak got rid of him, and now he's stalking the ex-girl, stalking the new girlfriend, and stalking Dak, and he wants the D back in his mouth. So he's just gonna do everything he can and say whatever he can say to try and discredit. Try to discredit Dak because Dak don't want his ass no more. Brownie needs to get his tongue out of quit thinking about having his tongue in Dak booty hole and get over it. Get over it. Because that's exactly what he sounds like, a scorned woman. They got dick down and can't get the dick no more. I'm sick of him. And that's it.
Oh, that's it. You got 50 more seconds, Queen. You got all that seconds left on the clock. Keep going.
Dak Prescott is about to bust it wide open on the NFC East and the rest of this league. Watch and see what I tell you. We got a badass offense and we got a badass defense. And Dak Prescott is about to shut all y'all asses up. And yours too, Brandon. And have a nice day. And let it rain, Cowboy Nation. To the window, to the wall.
To the sweat.
Your ball.
All right, that's Queen Cowboys, y'all. And she's our queen to be. Oh my gosh, man! All right, we're gonna have to let all of the people know that that segment was brought to you by Queen Cowboy. That her thoughts and her opinions doesn't align with the Cowboy Law Nation. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that I have to put that disclaimer out there because we don't condone any guy or any female to be represented that way in that light. But those were independent thoughts of Queen Cowboy. You know what I'm saying? Not the Dallas Cowboy nor Law Nation. You know, sports. But hey, all right, I got from the 903. You're live on the Nation from Longview, Texas, man. Talk to me.
That's good, Law.
It's Friday, man.
That goddamn on Queen. Boy, I tell you. But, man, I don't got much to say, Law. That was fun. I had to call in on that one, Law. I had to call in on that one, man. That was so funny.
Oh my gosh, man! Oh my gosh,
the
man!
only thing I'm gonna say, Dak gonna be all right, man. We're gonna have an outstanding season, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and whatever God put in front of us, that's what we got to deal with.
Yeah.
But Dak, I think Dak gonna be all right. And that's all I gotta say, man.
Hey, man.
How about some Cowboys? Let's go.
How about him, man? He didn't have no rebuttal to what Queen said. Oh my gosh, man! That last but not least, man, this person been hanging in there long like the skin on a tooth, man. He been like a loose tooth. Y'all, that loose tooth that been hanging on. He's been hanging in here long, y'all. Let me see if I can bring him on. I don't know who this is. First time caller look like, but it's from the 209. You the last caller of the day, so you get the 2-minute thing. Talk to me, man.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Hey, let me say something real quick, man. Let me say just a little thing real quick. The dude that called two calls ago, for one, fuck all that objective shit. You sounding like Skip Bayless, man. Fuck all that. You either a team player or you not. You either rock with the Cowboys or not. And people forget, too. Let me tell you this. People forget Dak wasn't a fourth fucking pick. He was a fourth-round pick. Exceeded expectations by far, okay? By far. And don't ever compare Blake Bortles, Alex Smith, and Kirk Cousins to Dak. This is total disrespect. Total disrespect. Now, let me get on with this season real quick.
Go ahead.
With the addition of Brandon Cooks, Deuce Vaughn, and what's his name? Stephon Gilmore. Let me tell you something. And the addition, which nobody's really talking about, this one running back named Lupski. Listen, Cowboys, they never, ever had a fullback, and I don't know when they ever used one in game. But listen, if they use him at fullback, dude, this team and this offense will be insane. I'm telling you, this will be nice as hell. I think Dak's going to have an outstanding season. And I picked him in fantasy as well, too. So, I have to rock with my man Dak.
Yeah.
And, hey, we're going to have a crazy year. With that Deuce Vaughn in the back, running back 2, people saying Rico Dowdle might take his position. I don't think so at all. They hate on him because he's 5'5", this and that. But, hey, go tell Darren Sproles that. Look what he did, all right? So, listen, we're going to have a outstanding season. Stop all this Dak hate. He's our quarterback now. And stop all this, Trey Lance coming for his job. No. You see what we could have kept Will Greer. Look what he turned into. He got signed by the Bengals.
But the Bengals.
He's back up to Joe Burrow right now. They saw something in him. So, hey, I think Trey Lance in the future, not now. I think he will be the future. I just think he needs some playing time. I think if we're winning the game this season by far, I think they should throw him in, get a little couple reps, and you get an interception. It's all right.
No doubt, man. Hey, man, let me lock you in here, man. What's your name, fam?
Lavish.
Okay, hold on.
Lavish. I got a
Lavish
YouTube channel too, man.
Okay, Lavish Life, man. Hold on. Lavish, I'm putting Lavish. I'm gonna put Cowboys Lavish, man. Appreciate you, dog. Man, thank you so much, man.
Yes,
continue to do your thing,
yes,
bro.
Sir.
Yes, indeed, man. That's a good call from him. A good call from all, man. And maybe tomorrow we do the interactive show tomorrow, where if I have time, we bring y'all up on camera and everything. I thought it was today. I had my days off, but. Hey, I'm finna go see that Equalizer 3. I heard my guy Denzel Washington. He's in that thing doing some crazy stuff, man. So I can't wait to see that Equalizer 3. If you already seen it, let me know if it's a good one, right? That or Beatles or Barbie World. Maybe I had to go see Barbie. Maybe. I'm outnumbered here, so the girls might win. They might say, we want to see Barbie, But, I'm going to trick them. You won't trick them. You're going to do something. It was Law Uncut today, Trey. Yes, indeed. Shout out to, they not a sponsor today, but they going to sponsor the Thursday show. But shout out to Prize Pick. Be sure if you are in the realms of being part of this particular community and if you want to do something over there, jump over to Prize Pick. They would do exactly what they said, 100% deposit match up to $100 and use promo code LAW. That's law. You don't have to put the whole nation on there, but I'll let them know too. Like if somebody put Law Nation in there, you got to give me that. You know what I'm saying? But also, I really appreciate y'all so much, man, for tuning in for these type of episodes. We had a great show today. We had some objective analysis. We had some subjective analysis. We had a bunch of analysis here and there. Cowboy Nation, hey, happy Friday to you all. Hey, if you drink responsibly. Understand, jump on those. They got scanners now. You can hit the scanners and see where they doing the roadblocks at. And always, I'm talking to the players now because some of the players watch this. I'm not saying you need to have a fall guy, but in so many words, I'm implying, you know what I'm saying, to get you one. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying here is that, you know, in so many words, it'll be good to have you one of them. You know what I'm saying? If y'all get with what I'm saying. You know, I know this weekend, I know y'all want your 211s, your steel reserves. You might want your hen, your crown. You may want some of that stuff to get you down. Or you might want a kind to have you elevated into higher levels, right? Open up your third eye and beyond. You might want to do some float therapy. You might want to do some other stuff as it relates to doing like this and all of that. But just be sure to have you a fall guy, you know? Don't drink, period. That's what my guy said in the chat. But make sure you formulate your mind to the right way and the right reasons. I say this all the time. Everyone have a reason, but those results are what matter. So regardless of Dak Prescott, whether it was chapter 7, chapter 6, chapter 5, chapter 4, chapter 3, or even, dare I say, chapter 1, the goal should have been lifting up that Lombardi trophy. And for 8 seasons or 7 seasons collectively, we have fell short of that. We haven't achieved that.
Spartans, prepare for glory.
So you got to formulate your mind to say, hey, I'm going to do what I need to do, what's best for this team. If it's sacking and short, tuck the ball. Run it. Play your analysis. Use all of those stats and accolades for the best reasons. The propensities of the chances. I remember Bill Parcells said that, hey, when you're down inside your own end zone, red zone, when you throw the ball, there's more chances of the ball being turned over. Run it. Damn it, get 3 points at least. I guess they couldn't depend on the kicker. But all of that should be removed. And for those out there who say, hey, these are just bevies of excuses. Excuses are facts you don't want to hear. Right? Shout out to my guy West Coast Cowboy who coined that phrase. But how bad do you want to win it now? How extra do you want to go? We don't want you running the ball and all of a sudden the wind blows and the ball falls out of your hand. It's a fumble and the opposing team is scooping it and scoring it the other way. We don't want you to drop back in coverage and you need a Hail Mary to win the game and the ball goes no further from me to this camera. We don't want those things when we get to the biggest and the brightest of the stages. But this is what we really want. If you want a thing bad enough to go out there and fight for it, to work day and night, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep. If all of your desires of it makes you quite mad that you don't get tired, and it makes you hold everything tawdry and cheap, if life itself seems empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it, if you'll gladly go out there and sweat for it, fret for it, a plan, and lose all terror of your mind, if you will simply go after the thing you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, with faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold, poverty, or famish, or fame, or the sickness of your body or brain can turn you away from the thing you want, if dogged and grim and besieged and beset, to have a guy in the chat like Jaws 88 to say, damn, Law, you're still alive. Meaning that, hey, we're going to get it out of the mud one way or another. The man should work by the sweat of his brow. The man going to put in some work, because when I'm dead, that's when I can rest. When I'm no longer breathing, that's when I can rest. When I no longer can open up my natural eyes, that's when I can rest. But as long as I got breath in my body, I'm going to talk about these Cowboys. This is a walk in the park for me. I can't be bald, baby, because I'm going to give y'all nothing but the best. Y'all may go and say this guy's better than Law. That guy, when I tune into his show, he's better than Law. But damn it, nobody's going to outwork Law. Law is going to give it all that he got, because that's what we're going to do over here. And y'all going to get some quality, some great content when you're here. You're going to get some absolute trophies when you're here, and you're going to get...
All I ask is when you lay your head on that pillow at night, you know I gave you everything I had.
I gave you everything I had.
Lay your head on my pillow and just relax.
Come on, just relax, baby. Come on.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog.
Let's go, baby. Put some pads on me. I got you, Jeremy. Let's go. Let's get it, baby. Come on.
I've been really in the field, lot of rush, I love the feel. Lately, I just wanna
run it up, baby.
Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Have to take it to a meal. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
Let's get it. Eastside Harrell. Appreciate you. Shout out to CJ Stroud, though. That's my guy, man. Hope all is well with him. But he got Noah Brown. How Noah doing? Come on. Shout out to you, Glenn. Appreciate you, Rev. Walker Wade. Press. Jay Recruiter. Appreciate you. Cali Cowboy Zach. Echoes. Jay. Versus. Come on. Come on. Hey.
I mix Nike with designer, I experiment. You just rock what's on the shelf and I'm not feeling it. Search for the one, but baby girl, it's nothing real as this. Can't trust a soul, I keep a hammer, call it too legit. I've been really in the field, love the rush, I love the feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make the deal.
Come on.
Take it to a meal. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
Hey. Ho. Oh snap. Hold on. I gotta poll the audience, baby. I gotta poll the audience. Did we have one Eagle fan in here today? Did we have any Eagle fans in here today? Did we have at least one? Did we have one Eagle fan? Y'all let me know. If you're an Eagle fan, let me see a green heart at least or something. You know, if we had an Eagle fan in here, let me know. Oh snap.
We answered. I talked stuff. I thought we had it. But it goes to show you who's the better team. And I'm sticking Cowboys.
You're crying.
I'm hurt. I love my Eagles. I don't believe it.
You gonna clap the hat one more time for the Eagles?
Just one more time for your boy.
Let's go, Birds. Fly, Eagles, fly. Still Super Bowl champion now.
Oh my gosh! Whenever we have an Eagle fan in here, we go to do that, man. Oh man, goodness, man. But in honor of my guy, we gonna zoom on up out of here like my guy Kevin Samuels, man. Shout out to him, man. A legendary, a pioneer of this game. Appreciate y'all. We up out of here, baby. One love, baby.
Say what's wrong or right.
Come on, baby. We about one love, baby. One love.
It's not hard to fool me. No. 'Cause I'm addicted to the good life. Yes. Yeah. Lead the way. I follow. No need to say. No. Where we are heading now, babe. I follow.
Pray for rain, you know. All I ask.
Now, so the cocaine's happening.
It's not a problem. No. 'Cause I know what I'm getting into. Yes. Yeah. can stop me. Cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all.
I want me some glory hole.
Cause I'll find a better one, yeah. Susceptible now. Before the moment flies, before it flies. So tell you good night. Cause I'll find a better one. FBI, open up! Susceptible now. Before the moment flies.
Until next time, DC for life. Salute.
Give me my theme music.
This is Sparta! All I ask is when you lay your head on that pill at night, I gave you everything I had. I gave you everything I had.